plays the ball very well on the onside. So you realize they have the square leg.
They do have a slip here, Sylvester. And again, Williams has been able to be getting off the mark right there. She's punching that one past backward point, ricocheted. And Boyce responded very quickly. And in the end, Williams is finally off the mark. You always want to get off the mark. So both batsmen are one. Leg by. And the first delivery of Boyce, 3 without loss. And Shamin comes in now. She's going to come in now, start, stop. And she really didn't get that one. In fact, Boyce should be 2, Sylvester.
Yeah.
I think that Boyce should be 2. No, she should be
No,
1 because
the first one
with a leg by.
A leg by, yeah.
I'm giving Boyce an extra run here today. 3
And, you,
without
and, I
loss.
mean, and then you called the first one so well when you said it was a leg by before the umpire even signaled.
Yeah, but I still, when she came back down on to start this over here, it still slipped me that she really had got a single and got off the mark. Giving her extra run. Maybe I just wanted to get a 50 today.
Yeah,
She's choking that one up to cover.
I believe she's going to get some.
Ricochet. She now gets her second run. So 4 without loss. Don't want to rob her of any runs at all. Over number 2 completed. Bernard Joseph just getting into position there at square leg. Boyce is 2 from 4. Williams is 1 from 8. And West Indies off to more or less a quiet start on Sunday morning.
Yeah, very quiet start. A good start there for the Pakistanis. They're very energetic. You see, one another subtle change. You see, they have the mid wicket in the first 2 games, 3 games. They had the offside. The mid wicket was in the offside. So now you see the subtle change in terms of they know that these 2 players are very strong on the onside. So they're giving their bowler as much protection as possible.
Certainly. Anwar, who I think bowls a little in swing, and with the breeze just coming across the ground here from east to west, Boyce is going to have to be careful. She's going to have to be as balanced as possible to play the ball as late as possible. Here's Boyce looking to whip that beautifully. She does that now. When it goes past the 25-yard circle, she'll come back quite easily for 2. So Boyce goes up to 4. And the score trickles up to 6 without loss. Quiet start here for the West Indies A team against the Pakistan A team, who won the toss this morning and decided that they were going to bowl first at the West Indies. And Boyce, the captain, really looking to move into overdrive, but not being able to get through that one yet. We say good morning to the folks in St. Martin, the Cricket for Life, Casey Carty T20 tournament. His team is into the semi-final this morning against the youths of St. Martin. So they've been having an excellent time right there. In the meantime, Boyce has just steered this down to 3rd man for her 5th run. She goes to 5. Now brings Rashada Williams into strike. She's 1. Anwar into only her 2nd over. Goes past the umpire from the circle Ambrose end into Boto. Here's Williams back and just clipping this one past the square leg boundary, past the right side of Bernard Joseph. The first boundary for the West Indies. Good balance shot, lovely shot, and that's her strength.
Yeah, and she has immaculate timing. When she hits the ball, especially when she hits it in the gap, it's all around the carpet and it races to the boundary, and she got really good reward up here. The outfield is luscious, it is fast. I think the weather, has done it. It has done it really well with the good works of the groundsmen. So you get good reward here for your runs, and there's another change again in the outfield now. They have Long on.
Here is Anwar pitching up one a little bit there, just between leg stump line, and Williams been able to just get a little clip onto it. It's raced down to the fine leg boundary because the fine leg goes up, as Sylvester had said. 2nd boundary for the West Indies here. And so all of a sudden the game has just quickly changed and moved into overdrive. 15 without loss. Williams goes to 9. Boyce is 5. She's on the non-strikers end. And all of a sudden Amor's figures read not for 11 from 1.4 overs.
Yeah, I understand that they're trying to set the field because they know that that's their strength. But the offside, the line of attack, I'm wondering why are they bowling to their strength.
Here is Williams undriving down the ground, picking up a easy single, and the score goes up to 16 without loss. Williams goes to 10. It now brings Boyce back into the strike and getting herself organized.
We had some reasonably good opening stance by these two players throughout so far, Springs. I think the middle order has let them down a bit, especially the hard hitters, those that the players that's supposed to come in and push the score along. I think those are the ones that that's a fine shot.
Here is boys getting a little fancy. Use the pace and just tear it past the wicketkeeper, making a diving effort down to the third man boundary for 4, hitting the CG insurance sign. So 3 boundaries already, Sylvester, in this over. And West Indies, the scorecard reads 20 without loss. Boyce is 9, Williams is 10.
Yeah, I mean they brought up the fine leg on the third man and they inserted the deep backward square and the long on, and Williams and Boyce, they really capitalize on the open areas. Bowling 2 straight on a few occasions, and Williams capitalize with 2 boundaries in the square leg region, just wide or fine leg, the backward square. So, and then now Boyce, a very nice, well calculated guide through the first slip area and got a good reward for a shot.
So Shaman will continue from the Sir Andy Roberts end. Goes past Bernard Joseph, the umpire from Antigua and Barbuda and the leewards. Gets a more or less top spinner delivery. And Williams was just looking to just work that. And so I was saying, Sylvester, she should have been able to just get a single there rather than looking to just force it. Just stop it and come through quite easily. Got to be able to look for those opportunities and an increase on the dot ball percentage.
Yeah.
Running between the wickets is going to be so very important for the women. So like 5 runouts for the Pakistan team. Here's Williams hoisting this one into the onside and looking for 2. And they hesitated for a while because the communication line, they just wasn't positive about it. Now, with where the long on had to run for that one, Sylvester, had there been urgency in running, they should have been able to come back for 2 runs right there.
Yeah, I think so too. But as I said, I don't know if they're in their stride in terms of running as yet, fully in their stride. I mean, they had a good warm up. We have seen they had a good warm up, and they had but it's a bit hot out there. Well, the sun is out. Normally, you have a stiff breeze at the stadium.
Shamini now to bowl to Boyce. Boyce is driving beautifully. Just up to mid-off. Can't score. She remains on 9. Williams is 11. Into over number 4. West Indies is 21 without loss. The West Indies A team. Shamini now to bowl to Boyce. Boyce is back and steering this past the first slip down to the short third man area. Little hesitation. Communication in line again in communication in terms of whether they wanted 1 or 2. In the end, they just settled for 1. Boyce goes to 10. Williams is 11. She now comes into strike. Boyce will have to be very, very careful with that like a fancy shot there to slip. It would be advised to maybe just look to just punch it up into the cover area.
Especially when there is a slip.
Yeah. Here's a single onto the onside there by Williams. Williams just needs to just get that right foot inside and just whip that around. She could be able to pick up a couple of runs. Williams goes to 12. Boyce is 10. She comes back into strike. Score is 23 without loss, and will continue. She's in now to bowl to Boyce. Boyce is turning this one around into the fine leg area. Is she going to come back for 2? That's easily 2. A little hesitation again. Williams more or less ball watching. She just needs to get to a crease. And in the end, all is clear. So Boyce picking up 2 runs right there at the end of the over. So over number 4 being completed. The score is 25 without loss.
Yeah, another good over. Free flying over. You see the scoring rate has picked up a bit. They are scoring a lot more freer, getting the boundaries and also picking up the 1s and 2s. And as I was saying, Springs, I think that these two, have given them a relatively good start in two of the 3 games so far. To me, it's just the middle order that they need someone to come in and push the pace and keep the momentum going and take it to the next level. And I think Vincent from the last game, that was one of her responsibility, and she never really lived up to that expectation. Spain.
Well, I think if these two bat real deep, Sylvester, we would have seen in the second game, had had Rashada Williams maybe even just bat maybe another 4 or 5 overs, West Indies comfortably could have won the game. So I think the objective for these two would be to really bat as deep as possible, as you were saying. One of them have to bat the entire 20 overs, and if one of them bats the 20 overs, West Indies are going to get a comfortable score quite easily. So that in itself is going to be important. Here is Williams just looking to just turn and just take off and run and really not really watching it. She had to get back into a crease. Tariq starting from the Sir Curtly Ambrose end. Curtly is on, in fact, had a stint in commentary with the West Indies versus South Africa series, so he's been pretty busy getting himself organized. Morning to you, Sir Curtly. Tariq, always sort of approached by the Pakistan fast bowlers. Bounce out the bowl to Williams is back and wrapping that one into cover, and she's out caught. Leaning back, lazy shot, Sylvester. Really didn't, sort of cramped herself really, rather than getting the right foot across and standing up and punch it. It was short, it was there to be hit, but you hit it into the air. And you've always heard from the late Sir Everton Weeks, always hit the ball on the ground, Sylvester Joseph. West Indies losing their first wicket. Williams gone for 12, 25 for 1.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think she got out in the first game exactly in that manner. She played a good. I think she played. The ball was struck with good power, but her placement, she pulled away a bit from the ball, so she couldn't really get it in the gap that she wanted. But I think that similarly to the way that she got out, I think in the first game. That's what I'm talking about. When they bowl the ball on the off stump, just about off stump, I think the batsmen they found wanting a bit Springs, not getting the gap, playing in such a way that they're not in control, as in if the ball is more straight to them. And the Pakistani bowlers, I don't know, their plan is maybe they bowl them straight a bit and then give them one a bit wider, but their line of attack is more like middle and leg from what we have seen so far, and they've been going fluently. So let's see what happens. Let me see how it goes on from here.
Tariq picking up her first wicket. Easy catch to Sohail. And bowls a good quickish delivery to the West Indian player here.
Yeah, another change. This is another change in the batting order, Springs.
Yes, but we still have not been able to pick the number up, identify the number of the player. That's something that we're trying to work on as we go through the whole scenario. So we wait for a little while just to see the movement. Tariq is in now down the onside. I think that will be signal a wide. 82. Looks like Jafina Joseph, Sylvester. We just picking up the rhythm of the number. We just were able to just slightly see the 82 a little bit on the tender.
His rate, I think, is pretty good so far. He's scoring like 29, so he's maybe about the on the ball so far. Spring, so it's not bad.
Down the onside, she's pouncing on that and just helped that over the fine leg fielder who's in the 25-yard circle and down to the boundary for 4. And this is what I think Sylvester was talking about. The line that she wants her to be able to bowl. The captain is saying to her, I want you to bowl more or less outside the line of the off stump. If you bowl short, the West Indians are going to hit your way and hit your way very, very, very quickly.
Yeah, and Joseph, she came out without a helmet and batting at number 3, and so she looked very comfortable to be playing the faster bowlers, and that was a short one, and she back and swivels and pulled it down, very convincingly for 4 spin. She's a no nonsense player, and I think if she can continue, she looks like the player that can put some impetus in his batting, the way that she's stroking the ball and timing the ball so far.
Well, to be able to just help that one out, as you keep talking, Sylvester, about the field placing by the Pakistan captain, they still have the short fine leg up, and so more or less they're bowling to a 5-4 field, which means that she's going to have to be very circumspect, can't bowl any short balls at all. She's in out the bowl to Joseph, and that had a little bit of juice on it. It sort of rushed the keeper a little bit there for the Pakistan team.
She boundaries and all of them are behind square.
So the action continues right here at the Survivoritas Stadium, with Chamin continuing into her 3rd over. Just bowled a nice line there to Boyce, who just missed it completely. Boyce goes down into her stance. Chamin in out the bowl to Boyce. Boyce comes easily forward. There's a little ease on it. Just like her to just lean into that, Sylvester, and just push that to the covers.
Yeah, like she was played the shot on the move. She wasn't really balanced to get the power and the timing and placement.
Coming in out about the Boyce. Boyce is beaten up with a beauty. That really subtle change that Mali keeps talking about there from the Pakistan spinners. And they're bowling a particular line, like Sylvester keeps saying all the time, just down that line of the off stump. That's what they're working on. You could see it, trying to force the West Indians to do something else different. Here is Boyce going across the line of the ball to try to sweep it, but really didn't come down convincing enough for that. Maybe just needs to just look up the gap. Just look up the V. It's very, very important, especially when you're playing spinners. Don't need to try to go across the line. Just keep looking up the V. Once it comes above your eye line, get that back face coming down nice and straight. Chamin comes into boat. She's fighting, Boyce. She's 12, and she knows that she has to get a big score here for her team. 33 for 1. Here comes Chamin. She comes in out the boat. Boyce is back and looking to try and turn that one. Can't score it. Made over Sylvester by Chamin.
Yeah, I've seen Boyce now in these 3 games so far, and she has to be very careful. She has a tendency of during her innings that she plays across one of the delivery, and I think that one before, that was a shot that she came out with. She has to be very careful and be concentrated, because that shot just normally creeps in when she's going well. That's when she got out the first game. You can remember Springs when she got out whipping, trying to turn the ball and get caught and squarely, and she almost got out in the last game as well like that. So she have to be very conscious, cognizant of that shot in particular, because she looks good. She's batting well so far, and her team is in a good situation.
Tariq in now the ball to Joseph. Joseph stands up straight and punches that to cover, can't score. That came off the bat sweetly from Javina Joseph. The score remains on 33 for 1.
Just see that she's well built and compact. She looks like a power back player, Spring. So she's hitting the ball nicely. She has good balance. Just so I think that she can stay focused and wait on the balls to bowl in her area.
We break for a while. Here is Joseph coming again quietly forward. She can't score. Another dot ball. It's all adding up here. 33 for 1. That's what we have taken place here. West Indies has been inserted by Pakistan as Tariq goes away now. In out the ball to Joseph. Joseph picks up the line right there. She was looking to say to the umpire, umpire, is that not wide? But it was right within the blue line.
She's still trying to convince the umpire that was way outside of the blue line. But I think it was in. I think that was a good area. And as you can see, Spence, when you bowl that line and that length outside the off stump, you know, it's very difficult for the West Indies batters to score. But as soon as you come a bit straighter.
Here comes Tariq as she moves away nicely. Now the ball to Joseph. Joseph at once stopped on her. She was in no man's land, neither forward nor back. It's just the bat coming down on that one. Most important thing she would say to me is that I kept it out.
She lives to fight another delivery.
Another day. 33 for 1. Looks as if Tariq could be on her way to bowl the second. Tariq is in now to bowl to Joseph. Joseph again playing around the line of that ball right there. And left foot just needed to come out to the pitch of that ball. She was caught almost on the crease, and that was tailing into between the middle and off stump area. $33 for 1. Joseph is 6. Boyce is 12. The current run rate is 4.83. Tariq, the wicket taker for the Pakistan team, into a second over, 1 for 8. Comes in now to bow to Joseph, into bow to Joseph. Joseph is driving, lost her shape there. And so the second maiden Sylvester in a row. And the West Indians just maybe just a little bit under, a little bit of pressure at the end of over number 7.
Yeah, I mean, Spence is not, it's, to be honest, it's not rocket science. If you bowl that ball in that area, that is what the off spinner is doing. Shamin is just bowling the ball just outside the off stump. Now and then she comes a little closer. That's when, you know, they look to play the ball on the onside. But most often than not, she's bowling that very good line and length over just about off stump and going away from them. And they find it very, very difficult to score.
7 overs bowled so far. The West Indies are 33 for 1. Joseph is 6. Boyce, the captain, is 12. She comes into strike right now. In the meantime, Tariq has bowled 2 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 8. And Shamin also bowled a maiden in the last over. So things have been picking up right here. The West Indies been pressured more or less by the Pakistan bowling lineup. Nazir now comes into strike. She starts very well from the Sir Andy Roberts end. And she starts with a dot ball.
Yeah, so that 13 dot balls in a row, I suppose.
Yes.
In a T20 game.
Got to be able to get the rotation of the strike and pick the singles up. Here comes Nazir. Just taking her time, thinking about it, looking at the target. She comes in now to bowl to Boyce. White ball, and Boyce is back and just getting a outside edge, racing down to third man. And so the pressure is eased off. That was wide by Nazir. And Boyce really saw it, eyes opened up. Was able to get 2 runs, something that she really needed for a period of time. Score goes up to 35 for 1, and Boyce goes to 14.
Indeed, and that one was a bit wider, and she got an outside edge, trying to cut the ball to cover the point. If you notice now, they're really going to bowl that outside the also line of attack. They brought the fielder in from square leg and have them short five, third man, sorry. So you have third man, you have point, cover point, mid off, and an extra cover.
Pretty interesting. Here's Boyce defending. That one hustled onto her, so she was looking again for that big cut shot, but in the end she had to defend and came down with a nice straight bat. So that's important. 35 for 1. Boyce is 14. She's the captain. She's got a good start here. She just needs to carry on. Here comes Nazir. Saying now to both the Boyce. She's back and looking to punch that. Not been able to get any runs there at all. She wasn't able to pace the offside. One thing about these Pakistan spinners, Sylvester, they get into the overs very quickly. 4 deliveries have been bowled so far by Nazir in this over. So they're really not giving the West Indians any chance at all. And they're hustling them. The West Indies maybe have to just try and just slow them down a little bit.
One of the main batters for the West Indies A team through this period. She needs to fight it out. Don't get frustrated and just give it away. I think, as I said, in games such as these and this situation will occur. But if you stay strong, maybe you get a good shot and things start to move for you again. So you just have to stay fighting with it and go through this period. And who's best to do that but the captain?
Certainly. Here is Joseph playing a naughty shot right there. No movement of the feet, just the hands really just coming through. And just missed that. We just needed to just come back and across with that length there. Good length delivery and just open the face of the bat and steer it down to third man. She's just guilty of just the hands going, not the feet really moving. Tariq is working up a little bit of a pace here, Sylvester. This is a third over, 1 for 8.
I think Torrent now has her bearings right from the last maybe 8 to 10 deliveries. You can see that she's hitting the required area that the captain was asking her to do.
Pitched up again. Joseph driving but can't beat. Pierce the field on the offside. And the score remains in 35 for 1. With number 9. Quiet period of play here at the Survivor Stadium on this lovely Christian Sunday morning. Folks maybe hustling, going to church. Things have been relaxed a little bit now, so folks can physically go back to church. There's still some virtual churches still taking place. Targeting out to bow to Joseph, and Joseph is beating all ends up. There's a peel for a leg before, but that beat her up. Good take there by Ali, the wicketkeeper for Pakistan. Looks a little tall today, Sylvester.
Well, we have a different one today. She's much.
We have a tall wicketkeeper today, not a short one.
Yeah. She's the tallest, from both teams in terms of. I'm talking about the Pakistan A team and the senior team. She's the tallest of the three.
So they know. Right. Also looks a little bit tall to Javier off. Which is right in the middle.
Yeah.
Here is the delivery. Pitch between middle and leg, and Joseph just turning this down to the fine leg area. She's kept her balance there. She goes up to 7 and the score goes up to 36 for 1. And Tariq is upset with herself in terms of that line there.
Yeah, as you see, every time they come a bit straighter, middle leg, it's more comfortable for the West Indian batters and boys, and Joseph Williams also, appreciated that area. But as soon as you get in that nice neat line, it's always difficult for all the battles so far.
Tariq into bowl to Boys. Boys is driving straight. A little suicide. Joseph was guilty of looking at the ball, Sylvester, and had to scamper down to the strikers in. In the end, she got a throw. It was right. Throw. Couldn't stop her running out there. Boyce goes up to 15. And Joseph is on 7. Until the 9th over of play here at the Survivor Stadium. West Indies A versus the Pakistan A. The first of the series. More support for women's cricket. West Indies are 37 for 1.
Indeed, very, very good period here again from Pakistan. The areas, they are suffocating. They are suffocating the West Indian pair in Joseph and Boyce. But I think that they have to press through. These two seems to me like they can, get the ball going. But they have to fight through this period, because I think it might be a little more difficult, for the new batter to come in. So it's best these two, stay and maneuver and fight as much as possible until but I think they're getting a few short deliveries outside the off-side spin, but they're not finding the gap, and that is creating the pressure even more.
Boyce is on 15, and she'll now get a delivery into the 10th over. She's on driving down to long run, so that's a good positive single there. Score goes up to 38 for 1. 38 for 1. Nazir starting from the Sunday Roberts end. Don't know if you've been following Sylvester. Natali Raj from India is now the leading run scorer in all women's international. 10,337 runs. Went past Charlotte Edwards from England, 10,273 runs. Susie Bates, 7,849. And Stephanie Taylor from the West Indies, 7,818. And Meg Lanning, 7,024. Here's Joseph playing one into the offside. And the appeal for a run out. She just sort of played the ball. Again, the communication line not right between Joseph and Boyce. And in the end, Boyce just saying that certainly was not on.
And I totally agree with Boyce. I don't think that was a single. She hit the ball straight with good pace to the cover fielder, who picked up and tried back to the wicket keeper quite swiftly. So I don't think that was a very good call there by Boyce. Remember, Boyce got one out in the last game. And I don't think that she want to beat it.
But the intent by Joseph wasn't bad, Sylvester, because she was looking to put the Pakistan fielders under some pressure, especially in the 25-yard circle. So I like the intent. So that's all right. At least she's thinking about getting a single.
Right.
Is Joseph getting a little bit confused. She's talking to herself. She wants to do well. 7 from 17. Boys 16 from 24. The West Indies in the 10th over, the 38 for 1. Here comes Nazia into a second over. Not for 3 so far. She starts. She goes past Bernard Joseph. And now to bowl to Joseph. Joseph again getting a little bit frustrated. And you could see that Sylvester. She can't score. And he's not coming in her area where she really wants it, where she could be able to go for it. So she's going to have to try and work that out. So we can see in terms of what's going to be happening. What's going to be the approach. Nazia is going to come in now quietly, and she's going to try and bowl to Joseph. Joseph is back and is slapping that just past backward point. Will pick up and get a couple of runs, and quite easily she get 2 runs. So just a bit of freedom in terms of the landscape. Sylvester should be able to get that one off. Score goes up to 40 for 1. 40 for 1. We're in the number 82, Jafina Joseph. Wait for Nazir. Nazir is going to come up now to bowl to Joseph. She's coming down the track and just slaps it a little bit past the fielder at cover, who sort of slipped and went into the wrong direction, and they got an easy single. So 10 overs completed, 41 for 1. Boyce is 16, Joseph is 10, and the West Indies have to be inserted by Pakistan. They're 41 for 1. As I say, thanks to Sylvester Joseph for his first stint. He'll be joined very quickly by Mali Richards, who's stepping into the hot seat. So Nazir's first 2 overs, of course, some 6 runs.
It's a cold seat today.
It's a cold seat.
Yeah.
Well, at least you brought your jacket.
I'm prepared.
I'm always in long sleeve because I know once I'm coming to the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in the Coolidge Cricket Ground, you have to put on your long sleeve. 41 for 1. Good morning to you again, Mali.
Good morning to you, Brad, and good morning to all the listeners in the region and around the world.
It's been an exciting day here. West Indies stifled by the Pakistan bowling attack so far, Mali?
Yeah, really struggling at this point in time to rotate the strike, and we could see after the power play the Windies were on 33, and since then 5 overs, only managed to score another 7 runs.
Tariq comes in out to bowl to Joseph. Joseph is playing around the line of the delivery right there. No sort of feet movement. Looking to try to either just get a single, but she didn't get in line at all there. Mali?
Yeah, 8 runs actually. Score on 41 for 1. Yeah, Joseph started well. Looked quite positive with her intent, but she's just struggled to put away a few bad balls and rotate the strike as she'd like.
Joseph is 10. And Tariq working up some pace here. She's into a 4th over. She's already bowled a maiden shot delivery. Wow. And she's decided that that's got some gas. The umpire
I think that was harsh.
That was pretty harsh. And one of the things about that is that I thought that was a good bump.
Very good bouncer. We saw from Tariq in the first game, she worked up a bit of pace and she wasn't scared to bowl those short deliveries. And when I saw Joseph come out without a helmet, I thought Tariq would have been saying to herself, yeah, she's going to probably try and put a few up her nose, and on that occasion she has. But I think it's a harsh decision there by the umpire.
Called a wide. Score goes up to 42 for 1. Tariq comes away now into bowl to Joseph. Joseph is more or less just peeling this one off down to third man. Just going for a big shot. And that's the retaliation that you want to see. You know, when you're playing you have street cricket and somebody bowls your bumper, the next one they pitch it up, you decide, I want to hit it so hard.
And you get whiff as well, you know.
Of course.
They would say, good offer. That's a good offer there from Joseph. But her execution has to get better as her innings progresses here. Windies behind the 8 ball, 10.2 overs, only 9.4 remaining. Need to get runs on the board, and quickly.
Boyce is 16, waits for Tariq into bowl to Boyce. Boyce is again playing around the line of the ball, a little miscommunication there. And Boyce is scrabbling to get home, overthrow in the end. They're going to come back for 2 quite easily. Communication line just needs to open. And I think as they get better in their game awareness, where they just, if you look at the Pakistan women's team, you could just really see them as just eye contact and they're gone. The West Indians, a little hesitation. They've maybe not been together enough. You have to trust each other. You have to know when your partner said, yes, you're gone, you're backing up.
That trust has to be there, though, or else, as we've seen, major problems.
Boyce is 18, Tariq out the ball to Boyce. Boyce is playing a shot that she certainly don't need to play because she's a much better player than that. She's going across the line of the ball and she's rehearsing it. And I think she'd be better to just drive it onto the offside. She's a lovely player when she plays into that area. And
we've been saying it all series, Pakistan have continued with this ring field, especially on the offside. No boundary riders, and they bowl the ball at times outside that off stump, allowing the batsmen to free their arms. But the Windies batters have been looking to go across the line rather than holding their shape and hitting the ball through the offside.
Here comes Tariq as she bungs him out the ball to Boyce. Down the onside. I think we get a leg by there. It was a peel for a leg before. I think the umpire said earlier clock not out. Tariq working up some pace here. Mali?
Yeah, she's just continued what we've seen her do from game 1. The wicket's actually looking like it's playing quite nice. Even when the spinners are on, no real big turn or bounce or anything. I think the Windies batters just today are struggling with their intent. And when I say intent, I don't mean just swinging wildly. I mean running hard and looking to push the ball in gaps.
Tariq into ball to Joseph. Joseph has got to defend the length delivery, can't score. So very impressive spell by young Tariq from Pakistan. 4 overs, 1 maiden, 14 runs, 1 wicket.
Yeah, and she seems to really like this wicket up here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium a bit more than at CCG. It's just got that little bit of extra pace and bounce, and it suits her bowling pretty well, and she's done a very good job here for the Pakistan women's A team here.
But the tracks here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium at the end of over number 11, where the West Indies are 46 for 1, Boyce is 18, Joseph is 11, they're a lot harder.
Yeah, you can tell just by the coloration. It's not quite as dark. You can tell that there's not as much moisture possibly in the wickets, and they're holding together really well, and they look pretty beautiful from our vantage point.
Excellent work by the groundsman here again, and we can't compliment him, especially in a hurricane season, to be able to have to deal with, pulling off of the covers here at Coolidge and at Sylvia Richards Stadium. Over number 11, over number 12 starts.
Yeah, but Nazir as well. Talk about the job she's done, playing, coming into the team today, and 2.1 overs, 6 runs, only going at an economy rate of 2.8 thus far.
Here is Boyce looking to just use her feet and just chipping this onto the leg side, thinking about 2, certainly not on. And early clock, Boyce has already just turned her back and said, I'm not interested to thinking about coming for the 2. Boy's just getting a little frustrated.
You can tell by her body language.
19 from 29, she wants to get on with it, but this is a learning experience for her. She'll get better. I think she's going to be, in the next couple of years, the next superstar for the West Indies. So this is the sort of level preparedness that you would need. Nazir is going to come in now to bowl to Joseph. Where's Joseph going? She's going for a big heave, and it's not there. It's subtle changes. It just come down very quickly on her. She saw it above her eye line, and by the time she looked, it was quickly onto her.
Yeah, and you were talking about Boyce, just previous delivery. I think it's a different type of innings for her today. We've seen her be quite fluent at the start of her innings. It's just a different type of innings, and like you say, it's all a learning experience.
Joseph down to the straight and punches that one to the outside. A little suicide at the cover fielder picked that up. She maybe could have been in trouble, but in the end, everything was safe. Joseph to 12, score goes up to 48 for 1. Boyce is 19 from 29. She now comes back into strike. The current run is over, not for 8 so far. This has been a beautiful spell so far by Nazir.
Oh, that's for sure. But Boyce is the key here, Vern, for the Windies batting lineup.
Nazir in the ball to Boyce is just working this into the leg side. The short middleweight fielder had to come around and just go outside of the 25-yard circle to pick this up very quickly. So Boyce goes to 20, now brings Joseph back into strike, and Nazir, we can't emphasize her spell so far here.
Yeah, very good job not bowling any bad deliveries thus far, and putting the West Indies batters under pressure.
Here is Joseph winding up, but don't have the pace on it, and she was really not really leaning into it. She was more or less going for a massive expensive drive. So Nazir's third over comes to an end, not for 10. The end of over number 12. West Indies are 50. 160 in, what did I say there? In about I think it would have been the 12th over, as they got a 50-50 for 1. And quiet start after 12 overs. The next 8 overs, we're talking about 48 deliveries. They need to get anywhere close to 100, 110, Mali.
Yeah,
if they're going to be in this game.
6 overs since the end of the power play, the Pakistan bowlers have been really frugal, really tight, really restricting the West Indian batters from really rotating the strike the way they would have liked. Just to pick up on something Sylvester said earlier, though, Boyce is absolutely key in this situation. She's pretty experienced. We've seen from the 2 previous games how technically proficient she is, and in this situation, from what we've seen before, with what's to come, she has to pretty much bat through.
Here is Joseph, and there was an appeal for a run out, and I think had that been on target, Sylvester, Boyce would have been run out.
Yeah.
Joseph just sort of just hit the ball to cover
run.
and just took off. Imtiaz is the new bowler who's just come in, and got to be very, very careful. The communication line and the running, you got to just pace yourself when you're hitting the ball. You got to play with nice soft hands. You can't go hard all the time. And it sounds good, but just drop it with your top hand and look for a single. Had that throw been accurate, Boyce would have been in trouble. Imtiaz comes in out to bowl to Boyce. Boyce is back and looking to stay that down to backward point, can't score.
Yeah, just that batsmanship, as they continue their careers in international cricket, they'll understand it. They'll watch more. They'll have the experience of going up against better international players and seeing how they go about it up close and personal.
Here's Boyce just more or less tugging this one down to long on, getting an easy single. She goes up to 21 and the score goes up to 52 for 1. Well, if we follow in the pattern, Mali, of the West Indies men's team, we realize from over number 7 to 14, the West Indies are struggling in the T20 game. And maybe that's why they don't maybe need to look around and say, hey, who's that player that we need during this period of time? Here is Joseph more or less looking to tug this one again, getting it down to the short finding fielder, getting a single. So Joseph goes to 15, Boyce is on 21, she comes back into strike. You know, cricket is cricket, Manny.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether it's 10-10, T20, 5 overs, 50 over, 40 overs or whatever. You have to respect the game. And you have to have a rotation of the strike. And I find that sometimes when we're playing the shorter version of the game, we feel that we don't need to run singles.
Yep.
And that is the real major problem. Imtiaz in now to bowl to Boyce. Boyce is clipping this one into the mid-wicket area. A valiant effort there from the mid-wicket fielder.
Desperately needed for their value.
Yeah, and in the end, Boyce picking up a boundary. She just missed it out for a while, but she looked like she made her mind up, Sylvester. Mali,
Yep.
that she was going to go at that one. She goes to 25, scores 57 for 1.
Well, that's what pressure does, you know. Something had to give at some point. She was trying to also find her little gaps, but she hasn't been doing that either. So on that occasion, she got the length that she was looking for, and she went across the line targeting the small boundary, and the Pakistan fielder couldn't come up with the catch.
I don't think there's any small boundaries here, Mali.
Or the smaller boundary. Well, smaller side, the easier side in terms of the wind. You know, people target the side that's more downhill over to the west.
58 for 1. Boyce is 26, Joseph is 15, 13 overs bowled so far.
Yeah, just to pick up on your point as well about the Windies, not to go into selection too much. I mean, the Windies men's team, the shorter version of the game, and over 7 to 14. I think it's not so much personnel, but mindset. The player that we need in that situation is already in that team. Would be it a Puran, be it a whoever. They possess, they possess the skills to play the way that's required, but it just hasn't happened at this point in time. I think it needs a reset of the mindset in terms of six hitting. It can't just all be about six hitting. You know, some sort of rotation and real batsmanship, playing good cricket strokes. If you think of Ajinkya Rahane in T20 cricket, you don't see him hit many sixes, but he hits a lot of like one bounce phase of the game for the men's team to play a similar role.
But somebody has to graph, and in graphing you can still be able to clear the boundaries.
For sure. Because
And
Marlon had that ability as well.
Yes.
Yeah, to clear the boundaries. He would get behind as well, think about it, but he would make it up.
Arup Shah comes in now to bowl to
she's just giving
Boyce,
it away.
and Boyce has given, it's dropped. Too casual there. I think it's the number 77 for Pakistan, right? Yes, she dropped a real sitter. It was almost like a long up. And she, Boyce just hoisted it up into the air rather than get on top of it and really hit it down. Because as you said, Mali, she'll be trying to go the bigger side of the boundary right there with the breeze blowing back, and that hung up for a little while right there.
She was caught in between. She didn't try to hit it for 6, and it didn't seem like she was trying to hit it for 4 either. She just played quite a lazy stroke and was quite lucky to still be at the crease. Can't give it away in this situation.
Sometimes you need that little luck. She's 27. Joseph is 15, and again Joseph just pushing a ball right there,
out.
and
Yet another
Joseph is run out, just punching the ball to cover, and really because she was on the back foot, it took some time for Mali Richards to get off the mark to be able to get to the striker's end, and in the end she fell very, 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 very short. Joseph's brief innings has come to an end. She's run out for 15 off 29, and the West Indies losing their second wicket here.
Yeah, 59 for 1. Yet another run out here in this series. And you can tell that's going to be a real point of where both teams will have to really, it's an aspect of their game they'll have to work on. The communication has been I wouldn't want to say poor, but it's left a lot to be desired. And with the new batter coming in now, it's even more imperative on Boyce to make sure she goes through and bats the full 20 overs here, because the Windies will be struggling to get up to even 100 if she was to get up.
Well, Shaman, being the quick fielder there who was wrong, fast and picker, but that was always on the card, Mali. If you look between Boyce and Joseph, that was always on the card. And as you rightly said, this is a line I think that both Courtney Watch and the Pakistan coach are going to have to be working on in terms of the running between the wickets.
We've seen too many thus far in this series.
Here comes Imtiaz in now to bowl to Boyce, and Boyce gets a wide delivery. Is that Gajnabi who's just coming?
He has the look of Gajnabi, yes.
Wait for a while and see what's going to be happening. Imtiaz's shot is getting bowling one just to Boyce, who's just steering it down to third man, vacant third man area, and she sneaks and gets a single. So we have Arub Shah, who's bowling from the Sir Andy Roberts end, and already she has created some energy by picking up the second wicket for Pakistan. She's now going to bowl to Gajnabi. Bernard Joseph just giving the indication that she's coming over the wicket to Gajnabi. Gajnabi already has taken her guard. Boyce is 28 from 37. Gajnabi will now take her first delivery. Like her approach, she looks like she's going to also be a good-looking cricketer. Gajnabi shy into bowl to Gajnabi, and she's just firing a big, massive square drive, a square cut, missed it completely. She's just coming.
I like her as well. A multi-dimensional cricketer, contributes in all three disciplines: batting, bowling, and fielding, along with a manly Mangu. Quite impressive, to be honest.
Here is Gajnabi just cramping herself there for a delivery from Shah. Can't score. So over number 13. 14 completed. The score is now 60 for 2. 60 for 2 over number 14 completed. And the West Indies more or less just, I don't want to say losing their way, but
just inching along. It's hard work scoring runs here today for this 18 batting lineup. The silver lining though is the fact that Renee seen thus far, even though today I'd say she's looked less positive. Her intent hasn't been as she doesn't, but she's still at the crease, and with her there,
having a go at this one, smacked it into the vacant square leg area, down to the boundary for 4. That's the West Indies' 5th boundary, I think, for the day. Boyce been able to get to free her arms up very quickly. She goes to 32 and the score goes up to 65 for 2. 65 for 2. Imtiaz just offline and playing into Boyce's strength.
Yeah, and as these girls play more international cricket as well, they'll realize just how important the power play is. Those 6 overs where you're only allowed two fielders outside the boundary. We see Boyce targeting the I don't want to say the shorter side, but the side that it's almost easier to score those boundaries now. But imagine if she showed this intent earlier in the day when the power play was there and the fielders. You couldn't possibly have your fielders in every boundary saving position. Sorry.
Imtiaz in now to bowl to Boyce. Boyce again is having a go at this one. The fielder from the mid-wicket area coming around, she gets 2 runs quite easily. The score goes up to 67 for 2. Boyce goes to 34. And in case you're wondering what's happening, Mali was talking about, as we would say, the double-decker side, or the cheeky hi-fi side, or the Kennedy
the
side.
Party stand side.
The party side stand. We're talking about we're going from east to west, so the breeze would just carry everything away. Here is Boyce back and cracking that one over cover. And looking to race away into the boundary for 4. It's touch the rope, boundary to boys.
Valiant effort from the Pakistani fielder out there, but something we haven't seen a lot of from the West Indies batters in this series. Looking to hit the ball over the offside. Pakistan has kept the field up more often than not to all the West Indian batters in this series on the offside, and they haven't just found that way of beating that field. But on that occasion, Boyce got with, and she executed perfectly.
10 runs off the over so far, including 2 boundaries. And Boyce has moved into overdrive. She's 38, and all of a sudden, look at game on here, 71 for 2. Boyce going again for more or less a positive shot as she hit this down to the mid-wicket fielder. And 11 runs off the over so far. So things have been heating up here, as we would say. 72 for 2 into over number 15, Imtiaz. A little bit expensive, not for 19. For Pakistan, by the Pakistan bowling lineup so far, she'd be maybe the most expensive bowler to date. Gajnabi.
And Boyce improving her strike rate ball by ball here. She's now on to 39 from 40.
Imtiaz into bowl to Gajnabi, was just looking to
lost
the shape there.
Got to be looking for 2 there.
I think they will come back quite easily for it. Gajnabi just jogging through. She's a big, tall lady, so that was easy work for her. She's off the mark. The score goes up to 74 for 2. Boyce is 39. And Imtiaz not for 21 in only her second over.
Yeah, you can tell she's been targeted here by Boyce in particular.
13 runs off the over so far. Here comes Imtiaz in now to bowl to Ghaznavi, and she's punching that down to long on, picking up an easy single. 14 runs off the over so far.
Is that the best over of the innings as well for the Windies?
It might be one of the best, certainly something that they needed. So 75 for 2, 15 overs bowled, Mali. Boyce is 39, Ghaznavi is 3, and the current run rate all of a sudden just begins to pick back up with some 30 deliveries to go, 5 overs to go, more or less, 30 balls to go, as we would say. If they get 30 singles, they are now 75 for 2. They can get 105, 110, 115 around in that area.
Yeah, and with Boyce at the crease, definitely. But she's at a critical stage now of this innings, and not only this innings, but her development in her career. Very critical stage. We've seen. Let's see how she goes about finishing this innings.
Nazia, she's bowled well so far. She's into a 4th over, not for 10. And we can't overemphasize her spell. She's been very, very, very consistent. Tariq 4-1, 14-1. But Nazia has done an excellent job here for the Pakistan women's team. 75 for 2. She starts, goes past Bernard Joseph from the Sandy Roberts end. Ghaznavi is just hustled onto her. And Ghaznavi is maybe playing a little bit out of her context. I'd like to see Ghaznavi
probably trying to hit the ball a little
game.
too hard.
Yeah,
and just losing her shape a little bit. Just needs to possibly just look to time it a bit more.
Nazia comes in now the boat to Ghaznavi, and she's really just putting this one into the track right there and just pulling this one out to the square leg area, getting an easy single. So good work here. But the rotational strike is very important. Ghaznavi knows that Boyce is on 39. She's moving into a rhythm, and she wants to give her that encouragement as much as possible.
It's a good move by Shamim as well, the Pakistani skipper, to keep Nazia on. Not wanting the West Indies to build any momentum, considering the previous over.
Here is Boyce stepping out and just hitting this down to long off.
She could have kept Nazia. She could have said, you know what, I'm going to keep Nazia back. I mean, the over isn't finished yet, so it could still prove to be a not so great a decision. But at this point in time, very good one. Not wanting the West Indies to build upon that 14-run over.
Nazia into both to Ghaznavi. Ghaznavi being cramped for room, but being able to still squeeze it through the offside and get a single or to long off. Get another single. So Ghaznavi doing her job. Yes. She now brings her captain back into strike, who's on 40. Yeah. Ghaznavi goes to 5. I like her education of the game. She looks like she could be one for the future again. Maybe another 5 years. She'll be one of the folks who will be taking over this role. But she continues to grow, get a little stronger. Nazia is in out the bowl to Boyce. Boyce is driving, and she missed out there.
Yep.
Mali, it was there.
Just needed to find the gap.
And if she just got to the pitch a bit and hit that inside out
That's
over
4
goal,
runs.
that's a
Yep.
beautiful shot. So she's still there. She's on 40. She can't give it away. She has to bat all 20 overs. Boyce. Nazia. She want to finish strong. In now to bowl to Boyce, and made her think right there. She was looking to use her feet there, but in the end, she just played it to the short fine Nagero. Nazia's spell comes to an end. Mala Richards, 4 overs, no maidens, 14 runs, no wickets, and she joins Tariq, who bowled 4 overs, 1 maiden, 14 runs, 1 wicket, as the Pakistan bowlers who have completed their 4 over spell so far.
Brilliant spell by Nazia there. She would have liked to have picked up a wicket or 2, but it wasn't meant to be today. But from the West Indian perspective, having wickets in hand has allowed them now to have an opportunity to launch in these last 4 overs. With Boyce at the crease, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's the highest score by a Windies batter thus far in this series, 41 of 43. And she's got to be looking to push on and possibly make her get to a half century or even better. But with 24 deliveries left and Windies 79 to 2, I think they could. It's a high possibility, or it's looking very positive that they could post their highest score of the series thus far.
Well, the previous highest would have been, I think, 33 by Rashada Williams. So you on target, Marley. 16 overs bowled. Boyce is 41. Her first objective would be, and I wanted to bat the entire 50. It would be lovely if she can maybe just complete that. And here is Boyce giving her hand away. Oh, dropped again. No need for that. She could just come and just stroke the ball down the ground. No need to be able to give your hand away. Just keep batting, skipper. She goes up to 42, gets another life again.
And it's something we haven't seen from the Pakistanis. You know, their bowling and their fielding and their catching in particular has been their strong point. But today they've shelled a few. And Boyce lives to fight another day.
Javier Rife. Guilty verdict. Here's Gajnabi driving inside out over cover, thinking about 2, and she's coming back for it, but somebody could be in trouble. Boyce is run out.
Yeah.
No need for that. No need for that at all. You can't do all that hard work and give your hand away. I don't think that was on, Mali.
No, it wasn't, and it's critical. It was critical that Boyce wasn't the one to depart. If there was going to be a sacrifice of a wicket on that occasion, you'd have thought that possibly it would have been Shabika Gajnabi, but on that occasion, Boyce once again, I think it's the second time she's been run out, consecutive games.
In fact, there's a communication line in Mali.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, she just
not because Gajnabi says 2, you mean that you come. You're the captain. No. Take it easy.
But she'd done all the hard work. She'd faced her 44 deliveries, and she was on 42, looking to really, really make it count. And just a bad decision there by both batsmen actually to come back for that second. And Boyce has to depart. Windies 80 for 3. And just like that, new batter in, it's going to be tough for the Windies to post a competitive total.
And the thing about the loss of the skipper at this time, she's been the set batsman, and she's been the person who could be able to clear these boundaries right here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium.
For sure. At the risk of getting 1 run, one. Just a critical setback for the Windies at this point of the match.
Game awareness, game understanding.
But they'll learn.
You've got to keep moving.
It's a development at the same time, and she's got to be taking all this in.
82 for 3. We look at the lineup here, and we see another Joseph coming in.
Yes, Kiana
Joseph, and she's a big, strong left-hander.
From St. Lucia, Kiana.
Let's see what's going to be the approach here from her. And She's down the wicket, she's out stump.
Yeah, first delivery.
Down the wicket, didn't even look at the ball. And the wicketkeeper Ali just took the bails off quite easily. And another needless wicket going down for the West Indies, 82 for 4.
Yeah, I mean, you could almost anticipate this with the way, with Boyce going, and we spoke about her ability, that the ability that she possesses to find the boundary and to also rotate the strike. It's going to be tough with what we had seen previously from this West Indies A batting lineup, and on that occasion, Kiana looking to she doesn't have a lot of time. She's looking to get on with it right away, and on that occasion, the spinner just proving to be too good for her.
82 for 4. West Indies losing their way here, and they're just beginning to just lose wickets in clusters. They still have to be able to be aware in terms of what's happening. Now, I know that they sent Joseph maybe to get some fireworks, but we still can't see the number on the back, but it's maybe not Mangrove, so they may be holding back Mangrove still. It's going to be pretty interesting. Let's wait and see what's going to be happening here. Back and just turning this onto the leg side, picking up a very easy single. And let's see if we can get the number now. 74, Mali. Who you got for 74, Mali? Grimmer is the one who's come out. Yeah, so they've held back Mangrove for a little bit of a time right here. Maybe just hoping that these two maybe can get themselves going. Ghaznavi is down the wicket and just tugging this down to long on.
Grimman's playing her first game
of the series.
Of the series as well.
Yeah. So straight away she's off the mark. 17 overs ball. West Indies losing their way there. Boyce getting out at a critical time. No need for her to get out there. And then Kiana Joseph coming in, not even looking at the delivery. Just came down, lost it, didn't even look at it, missed it completely, and neatly stumped by the wicketkeeper. 84 for 4. Ghaznavi is 8. Grimman is 1. And the current run rate goes down now to 4.94.
Yeah, Shanita Grimman playing her first game, like we said previously, hailing from Guyana. Right-hand bowler and right-hand batsman, so right-hand batter. So let's hope she can provide the impetus that's needed for the Windies in this situation.
Shamin, she's into her 4th over, not for 8. She's bowled beautifully so far. She's in now to bowl to Ghaznavi. Ghaznavi can't score, and for the simple reason because she's cramped for room.
Yeah, and spinners here from Pakistan just picking up where Nazir left off. Shamim.
Here is Ghaznavi hitting this down to long on, picking up a very easy single. Important to know, Mali, that we had 2 maidens for the day. Shamin bowled 1.
Consecutive maidens as well.
And Tariq bowled 1.
Yeah, Sylvester noted that. 13 consecutive deliveries in the T20. I think that's something that the management staff, coaching staff will have a look and really talk about at the end of this series.
Shamin has also picked up 2 wickets so far. Look like we can have another wicket.
Yep.
Another run out. Here's the communication line. Grimman, that was not a single.
Where was Ghaznavi going? Ghaznavi, that was the problem there. She was just hit and Ghaznavi was off.
Gotta be able to no need to be able to give her hands away at all. 85 for 5. Not looking good at all, Mali.
Yeah, the importance of Renee's Boyce just being highlighted there. The quick loss of those 2 wickets, Vernon. It was absolutely critical for her to be there and almost farm the strike and be the experienced head at the other end, while the others would just come and support her. But yeah, it wasn't meant to be, and we're seeing the effect of the captain going at the stage in which he went. But it's a development series, Vernon. A lot of players here are also a few players are getting their first opportunities at this level. So it's just a valuable cricket part of their cricketing education, as we said before.
So we got a new player coming out here for the West Indies women team. Let's see if we can be able to get to see the number.
It's Sherry-Ann Fraser.
Sure. So Mali has picked that up very quickly.
Yeah.
Fraser. Let's see what sort of approach she's gonna take to Shamin, and she's shown her intention earlier clock that she's going for the fences.
Yeah. And Grimman has been sent out to obviously provide that power that's been missing from this batting lineup thus far. She's listed as a bowler, but she came out to bat at number 6. You were saying Mandy Mangu is still in the hutch, but I think the West Indian coaching staff was thinking that Mangu's a bit of a nudger and nerdler as well, and didn't want Ghaznavi and Mangu at the crease at the same time in this situation.
86 for 5. Grimman is 2. Fraser now will face and get her first delivery. Let's see in terms of what the attitude is going to be like. We break for a little while. Here comes Shamin. Comes in now to bowl to Fraser. Fraser just more or less just chipping this one over and picking up an easy single.
The little 9-iron, low wedge, chip.
I like that one. Shamin looking to complete her over. She's now not for 11. She's back and steering it. So over number 18 completed, and in the end, 4 overs completed here by Shamin. 4 overs, not for 11. Not a bad spell at all.
Oh, very good spell. Just didn't manage to pick up a wicket, but in terms of her economy rate, she's really done a very good job. Leading from the front as the skipper. 4 overs, 11 runs. Didn't manage to give away a boundary as well. So. Leading from the front, like we said.
87 for 5, some 2 overs to go. In terms of the spell and what's taking place.
Keeping the pressure on as well. If they could have caught, if Pakistan would have even caught better, Windies would have been in even more trouble here, Vern.
So we break for a little while and we see in terms of what's happening. So you've got 12 deliveries to go. West Indies maybe trying to still see if they can get up to 100. I think that is going to be very, very, very important. We break for a little while and see what's going to be happening. Fraser's in strike, and she gets a flatter, faster delivery, can't score. Just picking up the Pakistan bowler here as we look for a little while, just to see what's happening. Got the number, Mali?
It's 33. It's Shah.
Shah. So she's back into the attack. It's bang on target. She comes in now to bowl to Fraser. Fraser is driving inside out and just over the short third man area. And we'll get a couple of runs right here. The ball was in the air for a little while, but because of the breeze, and almost looking like we almost had another run out. Mali was shouting, no need for that one.
Wow.
And the score
good
goes
running
up to
in the end.
Score goes up to 90 for 5.
Wow. One thing about Sherry-Ann Fraser, what we have seen, she's got quite a bit of talent, especially with the ball and in the field. She's quite a good athlete. Probably the best athlete that we've seen in this A-team squad.
She's 4. Grimman comes into strike. Shah is 1 for 11. She's into a third over in terms of what's going to be happening. Here comes flatter faster, Grimman pulling away more or less and trying to go for an expansive drive. Missed it completely. Would have been maybe just be okay to just keep a solid base and just touch it, just past the keeper and race it down to third man rather than going for a big expansive drive over cover.
Tried to hit it a little too hard, Vern, and her head just came up and she took her eyes off the delivery at the last second.
Here is Grimman driving inside out over covers. She'll get a couple of runs here quite easily. Fraser is kind of fast.
She's quick.
She's going to be easy. Fraser already reached her crease and Grimman is just struggling to get back. 92 for 5. West Indies need to get to 100, 105. They need to get up there and get up there very quickly. It's going to be very important. See what's the approach going to be. And I think they can be able to pull that one off. 92 for 5. Here is, that's a magnificent catch there. Tossed up.
Catch.
And the long angle coming out there. But again, Mali in the air. And
just
West
leant
Indies
back.
losing another wicket, the wicket of Grimman.
Yeah, she's just leaning back there, going for power. Just couldn't quite get it over the quite diminutive Pakistan fielder there at extra cover on the edge of the circle. And she took quite a sharp catch. It just stuck at the end of her in her fingers.
I
And
think Shamin is the one who came up with that catch.
yes,
Shamin.
Nah, who was it? Yeah, it was the captain Shamin. You're right.
Yeah,
It was skipper. Very good catch by her.
92 for 6. The West Indies losing the way. I still feel that they can get 100. And is this Mangrove coming out now?
It looks so. Quite diminutive. A bit of a live wire, hard runner between the wickets. Doesn't necessarily possess that power at this stage of her career, but I'm sure that will come. But she's definitely got the technical ability, and she's a quick runner between the wickets, and that's an asset that could be used in this stage of the game.
Well, what I can say to you, between Mangrove and Fraser, West Indies still have a chance of getting up to 100.
You would think so.
Approach going to be, and she didn't get that one back there. So over number 19 is completed. 92 for 6 as we speak. Over number 19 completed, 92 for 6. And final over, and Mangrove will be in strike.
Yeah, final 6 balls of the Windies innings. Pakistan will be looking to do more of the same, restrict the boundaries. If they give a few singles here or there, they won't be too worried about that. But they'll be mainly concentrating on not giving the West Indies any boundary deliveries here to hit. Windies, on the other hand, they've got to make all the running in this final over. They've got to provide that impetus. They've got to look to get after this bowler. It's 6 deliveries, still got 4 wickets in the hutch. Basically, you've got to be swinging at every ball.
Almost every ball.
Yep.
The current run rate is 4.84. Anwar. Is it Anwar coming to complete her spell? Or bowl the last over? Mango is in strike. She's just tucking this into the offside. She's going to look to come back for 2 runs. You think it's going to be O'Malley? No, she changes her mind. And came off the bat sweetly into the middle wicket area, O'Malley.
Yeah, the fielder came in quite quickly, though.
Certainly.
Did
They were up to it. 93 for 6. Mango's off the mark straight away. So this is a good one, as we would say.
Yeah, she's doing what's required of her at this point in time. Just the one delivery, and managed to get off strike and put Sherry-Ann Fraser on strike here. Being a left-hander, she could target that party stand end as well.
Shamin, 4 overs, 1 maiden, 11 runs, no wickets. Tariq, 4 overs, 1 maiden, 14 runs, 1 wicket. Nazir, 4 overs, no maidens, 14 runs, 1 wicket. And those 3 bowlers really put the squeeze on the West Indies A-team batting lineup. Lovely knock by the captain boys. Here is Fraser driving inside out. 1 bounce down to the sweeper. And already Mango is thinking and saying, hey, what happened? You're not working with me? I'm willing to come back for the second run.
The second wasn't on that occasion. Quite was hit well by Sherry-Ann Fraser. And this young guy and these players, quite a lot to work with, Vern, from what we've seen. Very good athlete, contributes in all 3 disciplines as well. So it'll be up to the coaches how they develop her.
Here is Mango just turning this onto the outside. He's a single. Mango is
And there's extras. Oh, yes. Fraser's coming back. She's quick.
pressure.
She is quick.
And once Mango is there, she's diving around there. So that's magnificent piece of work. She just sort of bruised her right hand.
Diving in.
There. But I just, trust me, I love her attitude.
I do as well. She's
love
all
her
action.
passion.
She's all action. She's aggressive. She does everything aggressive and in a positive manner.
I love her passion, and this is what you want. 96 for 6, Mali.
Yeah, you never have to with players like that, you never have to turn them up. If anything, you just have to dial them back a little bit. But that's one thing for sure. You're going to get a full effort from players like that.
Good Gus Logie in the lineup here, down the onside, getting a wide right there. And as simple as she coming, she's been able to put the pressure back in the Pakistan because she's going to run.
All about just swinging. It's about how you run that first one hard. It puts the fielders under pressure, and if they make a slight mistake, you're there to capitalize.
97 for 6. West Indies still have at least 3 legal deliveries here. Anwar comes in to bowl to Mangrove, into bowl to Mangrove. Mangrove's clipping this beautifully.
Good shot.
That's a good shot. She's looking to come back for 2. No, but Fraser said, no, I'm going to take the strike. That's a lovely shot there by Mangrove.
Yeah, very good shot. She's doing what's required here, going at just over 133. She's only faced the 3 deliveries. She's got the 4 runs. Windies have struggled to rotate the strike, and you possibly think maybe if she was batting a little earlier with Renee's voice, what possibly could have happened?
98 for 6.
In terms of how their styles of play could possibly benefit each other, complement each other.
Fraser the left-hander in strike. She's 5. She's in strike now and waits for Anwar. As Anwar moves away nicely, he's going to move in now to bowl to Fraser. Fraser just making an adjustment. And I think she's almost nearly lost her foot in there. And the wicketkeeper did good. Ali to take the one up off.
That was almost a nightmare scenario for Fraser. She was running down the wicket and left the ball alone. You don't see that very often, but she was quick enough to get that left leg back in across the line and in her crease.
Got to swing for the fences for the West Indies to get to 100, and then we have a game on here. 1 delivery to go. Amno has other ideas. In now the ball to Fraser. Fraser is looking to tuck this one around. Somebody could be in trouble here. Oh, and she misses. Anwar can't believe that she missed the other striker's end. She's just rubbed her face right there. So the innings comes to an end. 20 overs have been bowled. Finally, West Indies reaching 99 for 6. Fraser is not out 6. Mango not out 4. Is it enough for the for the in the end, as you would say, doing her job, getting herself organized and just making sure some extras. Been 7 of the 20 overs. Williams for 12, Boyce for 42, Justina Joseph for 15, Gajnabi for 9, Kiana Joseph for 0, Grimman for 4, Fraser not out 6, Mango not out 4. West Indies in the end reaching 99 for 6, Mali, of their set of overs. They're pretty fast.
Yeah, you can see there Shamim, Nazir and Tariq doing a really good job in terms of economy rates, but not picking up many wickets. But we did see quite a few run-outs, Vern, something that's been plaguing both teams in this series. And if you would have bet me another Vitamark that the Windies would have got to 100, you would have lost another one, because no, you were quite positive, looking like Windies would have gotten to 100, but that loss of Renee's voice, it was critical. We did mention just how critical she would be to the Windies posting a competitive total, and it wasn't meant to be here today, but they've got to come out and work with what they've got. It's 100 to win, and if they can take early wickets, they can put this Pakistani batting lineup under pressure.
Well, let me just thank you, Mally Richards and Sylvester Bones and Joseph, for the first innings here. We'll get a little water break, sort it out ourselves, and when we come back, it will be the start of the Pakistan A team's innings.
Thank you.
Your mic test.
Testing.
Testing.
Actually, I'm hearing you here, so.
Start of the Pakistan's innings, and we'll be gearing up and getting ready to go. Pakistan will need 100. Don't want to say EC runs or US runs, Sylvester, but we know they need 100 singles.
Well, whether it's EC or US Springs, they
just need
they
100.
need 100.
So,
Our Pakistan is balance. What is it, one?
well, they're in the Caribbean right now, so they'll be spending US. That'll be pretty important. First delivery is a wide here, and we just getting our bearings going right here. Is that
Glasgow.
Glasgow starting very quickly there? So we making sure that we get ourselves organized. So the West Indies starting with a wide, and they've been pretty guilty of that. So let's look at the field placing, Sylvester, and see what's going to be happening. Rife, Javera off. They started with a slip for sure, so we know that it's going to be happening. They've got a sweeper on the offside, so they've got a third man, a sweeper on the offside, a slip, backward point, cover, mid on, mid off, short mid wicket, short fine leg, up in the circle. Glasgow moves in. To both the rods, she sort of stopped in Sylvester, didn't really, but then in the end she just came to still. One without loss. Pakistan starting with a wide at Glasgow. Head coach Courtney Walsh, just the legendary, moving around the boundary. Maybe he's gonna have a couple of little lessons today. He's gonna have giving some words of encouragement and support to Boyce, the captain. Here is a good delivery, pitched up outside the line of the off stump. That had a good little pace on it. Sylvester got through quicker than Javera would have maybe even picked up. And the score remains on one without loss, into over number one.
And they're strengthening the outside again, so it's definitely 7-2. A 7-2 feel here. So they're really concentrating on bowling on the off stump line there, Springs. Hope she doesn't get too wide. I can see the first delivery was wide. The last delivery was a bit close, but she got away with it.
Glasgow for the Sir Andy Robertson. This has to be a major achievement. Pitch between wicket and wicket. There was a P for a leg before. Javera missed it there completely. Got a little inside edge. So she's pretty lucky as Bernard Joseph didn't single on anything like that. Not a bad line delivery, Sylvester. Except that I would just maybe like to just have the fielder who went onto the offside come back onto the leg side for protection, especially in terms of that delivery that she just bowled.
Yeah, that was the thought that came into my mind, that the captain just brought over the short fine leg, and that one was a bit close to the leg stump for my liking.
This early age, Sylvester, you almost pulled into like what, a 9-2 field? Pretty, yeah. Zafar is driving that one, peeling off outside the pass backward point down to the third man boundary, picking up a single quite easy. And one of the things, Sylvester, that I think that they will have to, and they've seen so far in the series, is that you can't give the Pakistan women cricketers any weight at all. Their bat speed and their hands, they just go through the line of the ball very, very, very quickly, Sylvester.
Yeah, indeed. And you can see this is the areas that they want to bowl. It's similarly to both teams are similar in terms of they bowl into the strengths of the opposition.
Good positive drive there by Javera, and just punching it up to Kiana Joseph. Mid off. She's inside the 25-yard circle, and she came down. Her spell is, I think, going to be important if she gets an opportunity to bowl today. But Glasgow not looking bad at all so far, Sylvester.
Yeah, good start here.
first game, getting a little bit of nerves off. Comes in the ball to Javera and almost yorked herself right there. And in the end, over number 1 completed, Sylvester. 1-3 without loss. Both batsmen on 1.
Well, I mean, not a bad start for Glasgow coming in for her first stint. She has a very good aggressive run-up. She looks like a really good fast bowler, promising fast bowler. She's bowling particularly well to the field placing, bowling to the offside, off stump. Just the solitary wide delivery, but I think the other deliveries were in the areas that the captain should be pleased about. So it's a good start for the West Indies 18.
Kashnabi will start from the Sir Curtly Ambrose end, and she'll be bowling to Zafar. So this is going to be a pretty interesting period of time. 3 without loss. Kashnabi just looking at her field placing, making sure that everything is in contention. And as you know, Sylvester himself, a former skipper, likes to see a slip in, especially just to start the proceedings. And the West Indies more or less bowling to a 5-4 field here. Pretty interesting. Kajnabi, the ball to Zafar. Zafar is looking to just tug this one away, but can't beat the fielder at short mid-wicket. And I can say to you that you know who that fielder is. It's Mangru.
The standard setter.
Standard bearer, as we would say. Kajnabi is in now to bowl to Zafar. Zafar getting a little fancy, a little naughty. That shot certainly not on. And I don't like that shot at all, because your head moves now, Sylvester, when you have to play that ball, looking to get a little fancy down there. And the thing about it is that Kajnabi bowls a lot of slow cutters, so there's really not a lot of pace looking for that shot.
That's Navi. Let me check. I think that's Navi bowls some medium paces. She's bowling some spin.
Hold on,
That's Ramnarak.
Ramnarak?
Yeah, Ramnarak.
Okay,
yeah.
all right. So Ramnarak, and she looks a little different. Yeah, I mean, are the same build as Gajnabi.
Yeah, definitely.
Bang on target. So they look like they found a ploy here, just to put the Pakistan players a little bit on break. There's no width, nothing much to try, nothing different.
Yeah, well, it's evident. When you bowl a bit straighter to the Pakistani batsman, you have it a lot more difficult to score.
Down the ground there, coming around nicely and getting an easy 2 runs right there. No need to give anything away. I think this game is going to be a competitive game, Sylvester. Don't know how you feel.
Yeah, I think so. From the scores that we had so far, I mean, even though the West Indies scored 96 in the first game, and then Pakistan scored 100, and the scores are similar in nature throughout all the games, and it wasn't an easy walkover.
Bang on target here. Ramnarak delivery. And so over number 2 completed, 5 without loss. So as compared to the first game, Sylvester, in the first set of overs with the West Indies, nobody's really cutting off to an exciting start. The West Indies again here just putting a little pressure on Pakistan. And I think if they can maintain that pressure, I think we have a game on here.
Yeah, indeed. They have to just learn. I think they need to learn. I see they get an upgrade, so to speak, from Ramnarak. She comes in for her first game with the A team, and you can see the areas that she's bowling. She recognizes that the Pakistani batters are very strong on the offside, and she's really concentrating just about middle and off stump with her off spinners, and she's varying the pace and doing really, really well.
Glasgow goes past Bernard Joseph, and she's just tugged onto the outside. With Pakistan looking to pick up a boundary here, but the boundary is so massive here, so I don't think that they'll be able to get a boundary here. But they get 3 runs quite easily on this massive outfield here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium, a minimum of what we'd say 70 meters, Sylvester. So, lots of running here today on a Sunday morning.
You can tell that the field is a bit big on the offside. Yeah, a bit. Okay, because, look, remember the last game we had a triple, what do you call it? This time they had 4, so I was wondering if they had a 4 relay. You remember when they had the triple relay?
Yes. Zafar is driving inside out past Kiana Joseph at mid-off and racing away down to the boundary for 4. But she'll pull that one back quite easily. A good relay event right there, as Sylvester was talking about. And they've been able to pick up 2 runs here. You realize that Zafar got to the pitch of that and was not afraid
to go over.
To go over.
That was a good shot. Just a bit mistimed, but she got 2 runs over the infield. Joseph, she bats at number 3 for the West Indies team. She looks like a live wire in the field as well. She's from St. Vincent. Glasgow is from St. Vincent. So, you know, the Vincentian have a few debutants, so to speak today.
I want to talk a little bit about the field placing. Now, if we look onto the offside, but we'll come back to that, Sylvester. Here is Xavier, just playing a little bit out of context there, looking to get a little aggressive, hit that down to mid-on, in the air a little bit. But I think what they're trying to do is to put the pressure on the West Indies, especially in the power play. And they realize that the first 2 overs, you know, they only just got 5 runs. And so they're looking to want to be able to try to step that up. The West Indies will just have to remain cool, remain calm, and take their catches. That is going to be very, very, very critical and very important. Glasgow into Zafar. Zafar is driving, can't score. And in the end, can they get a single? Somebody, had the throw been maybe just a little bit a little quicker, you never know. You might have had a little run out there again. As long as you're looking at cricket, you know, one of the things that are going to be coming into contention is a run out.
Yeah, and so there, James, she got around pretty quickly, but she fumbled a bit and the ball went a little distance away from her. But the effort is there, the energy is there, just, you know, to hold on the ball.
Short delivery, steered down to the third man fielder, and Glasgow looks one for the future. Really approaching the crease aggressively, running in hard. You could see her really charging in. Now have Zafar, who is on strike. She's on 6. Score is 12 without loss. Remember at 2 o'clock we have the big game. The West Indies senior team, they really won the series, so they really want a clean sweep Pakistan. Short delivery that got up, and she's just on top of it and just steering it again, going to third man. Good pace there. That hit the seam. Well, it hit the splice. So another over completed here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. 3 overs been bowled so far, Sylvester. 13 without loss. We got that right.
Yes, indeed. Pretty subdued start again. Pakistani looks aggressive. They're looking to score. The West Indies bowlers so far in Glasgow and Ramarak, they are really, you know, putting the balls in the area, bowling to their field. But spins for the fast bowlers in one-day cricket, T20 cricket, I prefer to see the field more balanced. I think the field placing and right now is just one way, one dimensional, and I don't like that.
Ramarak, the nice flighted delivery there, just put that one into the surface, and because of that, Zafar was looking to pull that one. Good piece of work there by the fielder, short mid-wicket area in the 25-yard circle. Don't want to say 30-yard circle. Here is a little punch past the short mid-wicket fielder, Mangro. She's always in the know. She's looking to get a catch, looking to move around and, you know, pick herself up all the time.
Yeah, indeed.
Score goes up to 14 without loss. And this lovely Sunday morning here in Antigua and Barbuda, it's a church morning. So lots of folks would be whistling around to get to church to pray for their loved ones, their folks who are in the hospital, church community around the Caribbean. Here's another dot delivery, and if they could just bowl some dot deliveries, I think they'll be able to again force the pressure back onto the Pakistan women's team. They're trying to work on that, as you could see that. Enjoying themselves for sure, the West Indies A team. It's been a happy outing for them, even though they're down 2-0. Again, good offline delivery there, and you see the offer being made by Javera looking to sweep. Kiana Joseph, the left arm spinner, just coming around. She will be maybe needed sooner rather than later. Boyce might be calling on her very soon. So, well, listen, you have to bowl from the Sir Andy Roberts end. And the ball seems to be following Kiana Joseph. Yeah, beautiful stop right there by Mangro. That was hit firmly by Javera. And Mangro is a real good fielder.
I think that is James.
That
Mango is always at point. So I don't think that's Mango. The two of them have similar natures.
Yeah.
But 50, her number is 55. Yeah, that's James.
Okay, so bouncing, pick that one up. Again, she's looking to sweep. Oh, that's beautiful. Stop there by Kiana Joseph. And I tell you, the ball is always following her.
Yeah.
She's always in the wall. It doesn't matter whether she's a cover or a short fine leg. It's just been there. So I think the West Indies, they've got some folks that they can work with, especially in the ground field.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, what we really want now, these will graduate into the West Indies senior team in the next 3 years. You know, maybe rather sooner than later, based on the development. And once you can get that going, because this, for them and the other players who are looking at this series here right now, would be an inspiration to say, hey, I think I can get into that team right away if I can be able to just work on these areas.
Yeah, Springs. To be honest, I'm not too much involved in the ladies' side of the game. But what I'm seeing here, I must give the selectors credit, the management team credit for what we have seen here. The future, you know, looks bright. With 2-3 years from now, I think that these girls will develop into some special players, because we can see the potential. Springs. It's just experience that they need. And what we're seeing here, it will go from strength to strength.
Grimman comes into the attack, so there's another bowling change very quickly. She's going to come in now to bowl to Javier, and she bowls her. Beautiful delivery right there. Caught onto the back foot, missed it completely, Sylvester, and Javier Roth is bowled by Grimman. Early inwards for the West Indies, 15 for 1 in over number 5.
Yeah, man, very good start here. The spinners throughout the competition so far from both teams, you know, have been very consistent. I was thinking that Ramnarat was an upgrade, but when you think about shows, he was doing very well, doing very well for the West Indies 18 with their left armers, you know. This is so the standard has continued, and hopefully, I think if the West Indies team can get off to get a victory, you know, even though the series is done in Springs, if they can get a victory, I think this will go good for the team spirit, the morale of the team, and help them to go from strength to strength.
Well, something they were working on, Sylvester, was to be able to get some left-arm spinners. And we saw a number of left-arm spinners in the series here for the West Indies. So I think the selectors and the coaching staff, that's something that they were really quickly working on, because they were missing that element, especially when they're going to world cricket. You know, you would have had the Anisa Mohammed and the Haley Matthews and the Taylors and some bowling, the off-spin. So they now got a different, you also had the Affy Fletcher, and so they've got a little difference now and a mixed combination in terms of what they're going to do. I think when you look at world cricket at women's level, most teams tend to be bowling spin.
Yeah, left arm spin right now vital is both in the men's game and the ladies' game, the women's game as well. I like to see the left arm spin. I think they bring something different to the fore, and most teams now they have them. Even though you have the wrist spinner, sometimes the finger spinner, but now you have.
Here's Grimman pulling down this one, and straight away being spanked away for 4. This is just sort of pulled that one down, and it was wide enough. And once you bowl that line,
who's that?
Sohail.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can't. I mean, if Grimman was watching, she would have understand that if it's one batsman batter that you can't really bowl wide to, it could be her first or her last delivery. She's gonna punch on it.
So Grimman picking up her first wicket in her first ball, and straight away, nice flighted delivery right there. So she's back on target. Say good morning to the folks in Barbados, in Guyana, in Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, wherever you're listening to us. Grimman in now to bowl to Sohail. Sohail comes stylishly across forward, just punching it up to cover. The score is on 19 for 1. Sohail is 4. Zafar is 8. Grimman in now the ball to Sohail, back and just turning this into the short fine leg area and not being able to cut the single off there very quickly, Sylvester.
I think if they get Sohail out as soon as possible, the game will be even more interesting. Sohail, she's very difficult to contain. She scores quickly, she times the ball well, and she plays very good cricket shots, and that is very important.
Flatter faster here by Grimman. She's pulling the ball into the wicket right there. Sort of cramped the Zafar for a little while right there. She's looking to punch it back. But good work by Grimman. Outside of that boundary, not a bad first over.
No, not at all. When you strain your line and length, especially given Sohail, the Pakistani batters, especially Sohail, that width, she's going to capitalize on it. I think with the adjustment that you see the Pakistani made with the strength of our open batters, the Captain Boyce and Williams, where they protected, the leg side where the strengths are. You don't see it here in terms of for the West Indies team, especially the first over. With Sohail, her strength is the offside, and she plays very, very well to covers. So for me, with the sweepers, I thought that they should have had a sweeper out there to cover and protect Grimman for that over.
So here comes Kiana Joseph, the left-arm spinner. Pakistan would need 80 runs from 90 balls. The West Indies still in a chance with this game. Bang on target, and they sneak a single down to the short third man area. Look like Jafina Joseph there, short third man coming around quickly, but she couldn't stop the single. And Sohail goes up to 6, and is bouncing and said, Sylvester, I said, she's a little busy player, and she's going to work the ball around. She's going to put some pressure on the attack, down the onside. Umpire getting out his hands and signaling a wide. So Joseph would want to be a lot more tighter. Zafar is 8, 22 for 1. Into over number 6.
Joseph has to be more attacking in terms of her length and line. I think she has to be more consistent. She needs to be more consistent and bring this to the fore, because the team needs her now. Left arm spinner, orthodox spinner. She should have a lot more control, variation. And look at her field. I think she's chased too much down the leg side. They have to be disciplined in not bowling too many extras.
Here is Zafar driving up the mid-off. Can't score. And the score is 22 for 1 into over number 6. It's got to be come and bang on target, as Sylvester said. Kiana Joseph, flatter faster back and looking to punch that. I think that's gone to my friend Mangru.
And she didn't throw it to the keeper this time around.
As Mally said, you have to just turn her down. She was turned down today.
One if the coach spoke to her.
We don't know. We'll wait and see. Good delivery right there. And good bounce too, and good take by Boyce. Coming around nicely, good glove work. So all in all, good cricket so far. Kiana Joseph has moved into a nice spell so far. Not for 2, 22 for 1. Zafir is 8, Sohail is 6. Joseph in out the ball to Zafir is driving, can't be cover. Could come back over. So 6 overs bowled so far, 22 for 1. And the West Indies at this stage, they were 33 for 1.
Yeah, the spinners, they're doing a fantastic job containing, and the fielding team, I think, is backing them up. I think sometimes if the anticipation for the fielders, is a little quicker, they can pull out a few more run-outs, because the Pakistanis are taking some dangerous singles. And you saw from the first, from the senior team that, how many run-outs they had in the last game? About 5. That must be a record. I don't think so. I think we went the under-9, or when I was playing with the under-19 team, I think we played a game and we got about 5 or 6 run out as well.
Wow. Sounded like you guys, nobody knew anybody. 22 for 1. So he's driving a Grimman delivery.
And just like the Pakistani team, we spent a lot of time together that year, because we were preparing for the World Cup. and
you had 6 runs in one game. 22 for 1. It's all happening here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. Grimman stroked away, lovely on drive, just eased by Sohail. I like the class of Sohail here so far. She looks good. I like the look of Grimman. So again, the West Indies searching for another set of spinners. This is a little different one as compared to Ramnarak. Grimman in now to bowl to Zafar. She's sweeping. I think she would have maybe got a little on the edge onto it. It might be signal a bye, I think. I don't think Boyce got across nicely. So wide down the onside.
As I said a while ago, the extras are going to be very important. West Indies tend to bowl, a few wides, a few no balls, and with a low total of such, you have to be more disciplined than that.
Pakistan needs 75. Here is Sohail, just for the first time, just losing her shape a little bit. She came there, then it almost yoked herself. So Grimman seems to be mixing up her deliveries in here. Here's Sohail going down the onside again and looking to, cartwheel that one with a little sweep. It's not being able to beat the fielder short fine leg in the 25-yard circle. 25 for 1. This has been a lovely little spell here by Grimman. I like the approach. 75 from 80 balls. Boyce has pushed her right back onto the boundary to be able to protect that. And so Sohail will maybe have to think about something else different. Grimman goes past Bernard Joseph. Comes in out the both ways, down the onside, and she just paddles this one around, offline a little bit. Boyce is saying, come on, you got to be a lot more tighter than that. And I would say Sylvester, they gave away 2 runs, 2 singles right there, 27 for 1. Now Boyce is now bringing Kiana Joseph now into the fine leg area.
Shot, fine leg 45.
Yeah.
Grimman bowls similar to that guy from Barbados.
Ashley Nurse?
Ashley Nurse. Yeah, she kind of dance from one side to the next.
Stroke down to long on for a single. Over number 7 completed. Pakistan, in reply, they quietly 28 for 1, 28 for 1. Sohail is 10, Zafar is 8, and Grimman's 2 overs so far, 1 for 11.
Yeah, I think it will benefit the West Indies players, the West Indies team, if they get Sohail out, because as you can see, she's an experienced player. She find ways to score. Yeah, she's not going to stay there. You're not going to bowl 5, 6 that deliveries to her, and she's just going to stay there and not try anything. She's going to walk across, and I think the delivery that she swept wasn't a bad one. Springs. It seems a bit straight, but she went across and improvised.
Here is Sohail, just more or less pulling this one out to the deep backward square fielder and getting an easy single. Kiana Joseph starting her second over. The score going up to 29 for 1. I'll say to you today, Sylvester, that the West Indian spinners are getting through these overs very, very, very quickly so far. 8 overs, into the 8th over already. Here's a lovely expansive cover drive by Zafar out to the sweeper. They get 1 run. Good return throw in there. Boyce coming across lovely with her glove work and just clipping this one away. So good morning to the folks in Jamaica, in Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada. Back and looking to steer this down to third man. The Australians already in the Caribbean, in St. Lucia. They've started to get their work and get themselves organized. So that's going to be the next big series. West Indies will have to be able to continue to lift their game, get their right combination. I just think that they have to be able to just get that sorted out. But here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in the women's series, Pakistan versus West Indies A team. Pakistan in reply, they're 31 for 1. Good flighty delivery by Joseph. And the Pakistani, both Zafar and Sohail, just giving a work into the West Indies fielders inside the 25-yard circle.
Indeed, they're hitting the gaps, even though the power is not on the shots as they want. They are hitting the gaps, and they're getting through for singles. And this is where the difference is with the Pakistani team and the West Indies team. They find ways and the means to rotate the strike.
Kiana Joseph not for 6 into a second over so far, 32 for 1. And as Sylvester said, they maybe not be getting boundaries, but they're picking up the singles, which is important. Here is Sohail just stroking this out to the sweeper, getting an easy single. And over number 8 comes to an end. The overs are really hustling. By the time I look up, Sylvester, the over is over.
Yeah.
33 for 1.
you know, the spinners naturally get through their overs as quickly as possible. But there was a period, remember there was a period in the West Indies innings where you have...
They were 35 for 1 at the end of it, so it's almost even keel.
Yeah, and also during that period, I mean, you have about 3 or 4 overs of maiden.
Well, you had two maidens over, Sylvester, 6 and 7. There were
Right.
2 maidens bowled by the
Back to
Pakistan.
back,
back to back.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's exactly what you're talking about. And
Yeah.
as Mali was on, he was saying, you know, you yourself, you can't have 13 dot balls
No, you can't.
in that period of play. So Sohail is 13, Zafar is 10. Pakistan needs 67 from 72. It's still game on. Here is Sohail inside out to the sweeper. And this is something that Mali and yourself were talking about as compared to the West Indian batsman. Being able to, when you get to the pitch of the ball, to even just hit it inside out to get a single. You see Sohail's approach very much. When she gets to the pitch of the Griman delivery, she's confident that she can hit that over the 25-yard circle. Was Zafar backing up too far there?
She definitely was.
Griman comes in. In fact, not Zafar, Sohail.
So she didn't even realize that the bowler went back to her back.
Because of her action. 34 for 1. Driving again beautifully. Being able to pick up a single. Is that Mangro?
That's James.
James is
a live wire as well.
Yeah,
So they have
James.
two.
We got 2 live wires in Mango and James.
The difference between the Mango and James is that James, she gets to the ball, but she always, you know, tend to parry it a fair bit from her.
Here is Sohail, just more or less getting down on one knee and getting it out to the leg side, getting 1 run. So that is going to be also very important. The West Indies are going to have to remain cool and calm, and the lines that they're bowling, going to have to bowl a lot more straighter. Don't give the Pakistanis anything to, you know, to be able to swing their arms around, and at the same time look to be able to pick up and take the catches. Here was Zafar just moving around in a crease there, and Griman came in and stopped and said, "Where are you moving going?" I think she was looking to try to just back away to give herself some room so she could be able to hit her inside out over cover. And she's gone.
Oh, brilliant.
That was a magnificent effort, Sylvester. That would have been a magnificent catch. It was in the air, hanging. We don't have a replay today, Sylvester, but that looked like Gajnabi.
Yeah.
Yes. And we're talking about, you know, the 3-dimensional areas, and that's gone for 6. The first 6 here by Pakistan there, and that was one of the another areas of her batting, her fielding, her bowling, and she really contributes to the team's performance. 42 for 1, and Zafar Gajnabi almost pulling off a screamer. So Zafar is 17, waits for Griman. Want to see a little bit more of Griman in the future. Let's see what her approach is going to be like. Start, stop, and then comes in.
She almost fell over.
Yeah, she just didn't get that one right there at all.
That step there like nurse. Side step,
Side
you know.
step. In fact, you know, you're just about to pivot. She get into that rhythm there. Got it. Pull that one down. And just pulling this one out to the deep backward square leg feeler. And she'll get 1 run in the end. 43 for 1. 9 overs completed. Pakistan fighting away here. The target is 100. Griman, 3 overs bowled so far, 1 for 21.
I think I'm happy with what I'm seeing, you know, from the West Indies players, and I think with time they will really, you know, come to fore. I like their body language. They are pretty confident, and you know that is a very important aspect of you moving forward. So with time, we're gonna have some good players for the future. I see so far, especially in the bowling, the spin bowling department. But what we are seeing here is the experience of the Pakistani batters. You know, with Sohail and Zafar. These two, you know, they're finding ways to manipulate the ball. Whether they they walk across the stumps, they play it late, they're finding the gaps and rotating the strike pretty well, Springs.
My major concern, Sylvester, is, at the end of this series, as Ghaznabi starts now to bowl to Zafar, Zafar is driving up to mid-off, Kiana Joseph. In fact, when they had the last camp, Sylvester, when most of these young ladies went back to their respective territories, by the time they came back, the level of where they were supposed to be in terms of fitness and their skill level was a concern for Courtney Walsh. So this is something I think that, and Mali did make the point, is that the local territory board is going to have to pay a lot more emphasis, especially on the women's program. The challenge with that, Sylvester, is being able to find the right coaches to be able to deal with the women's program, because like I said, coaching women is completely different to the men, and you have to have a little bit more patience to be able to understand, because you're dealing with different mood swings, and that is always going to be a challenge. 44 for 1, Sohail comes into strike. Ghaznabi is punched away more or less into the offside, and they pick up another easy single. It's almost like a roller coaster. So that in itself is going to be a challenge for Courtney Walsh, and for maybe even most of the territories around who have women's cricket to sort of deal with. I got one or two ideas which I will bounce off by you, Sylvester, in terms of how best we could be able to maneuver and help this. Here is Zafar driving straight down the ground, and Grimman ran around the ball, more or less. Didn't pick up the spin, and it went past her and down to the boundary for 4. And so Pakistan coasting away. They're getting up now to 49 for 1.
Indeed, a good shot there by Zafar. She played a similar shot when the previous over, as Ghaznabi, when she tried that fantastic feeling. That's one of a strength, a hitting area for Zafar, over the long on boundary, like a right hand comes into play a lot. But she picks the gaps very well.
Ghaznabi comes in now to bowl to Zafar, and Zafar is just steering this down to third man. 50 up for the Pakistan team, 50 up, so 9.5 overs, so 36 minutes. So they're trotting along and moving around nicely, and the West Indian bowlers, they've been getting through their overs very quickly. 36 minutes and really bowled already into the 10th over.
Indeed.
Here is Sohail driving in there, and catch finally taken. Who's taking that one?
Who we expect to take that? That's coming from Point. Mango. And they almost was a collision. Yeah, and I mean, when Mango is around you have to know that she's gonna get there. If one thing, she has such energy. She's so positive, going, to catch, to feel. She want to be in the game. I just like that energy, and if she continues, and you have this team today, this team today, I think, look more agile on the field. They are getting across. The players that came in, you can see that they bring a bit more energy to the fielding. So I believe it's going to be a tight one, Springs. If they can keep down the boundaries, this is a very good wicket. So this is the wicket that they want. She's the experienced player, and if they can continue with that, especially the spinners bowling those good areas there, it should be a good finish.
The next 5 overs is going to be important, Sylvester. It's going to maybe set the game up, because they have to push the Pakistani team back a little bit, and also pick up some wickets. So that in itself is going to be critical in terms of what's going to be happening. 50 for 2, Pakistan. Sylvester just scuttling out there to get themselves organized. Thanks, Sylvester, again. It's 11:18, 10:18 in Jamaica. Joined by Mali. Mali, good morning again.
Good day, Springs. How are you, man? Happy birthday again to you, Springs. You're 21 years old today, boy. Looking not a day older than 21, my boy.
57 and counting.
Okay, just go. Don't let them know.
Nothing to hide about. Who's coming on track here? Mali almost had a run out there.
Mango in the attack.
Very early. 51 for 2. Zafar is on 25. Alvi, who was the wicket keeper, she comes out.
And we're seeing Pakistan just at this point in time not taking any risks, unnecessary risks. The run rate's well in hand, and there are more balls and runs, and they're just taking their time at this point in time in this game, Brian.
There have been some positives from this series, both for Pakistan and for the West Indies, and I think we can begin to highlight a couple of the positives. Mangro for sure, I like. Ghaznavi is another player who I think has got a real bright future. And seeing James for the first time today in the field, so Grimman, I don't mind Grimman. Grimman is somebody who looks like you can. So there's been quietly some positives.
Yeah, that talent pool, it's expanding for sure.
Here comes Mangro, in now to bowl to Zafar, who's standing up nice and straight, and she maybe will now have to bat the entire 20 overs and keep her rhythm going into over number 11. Alvi is 1. Pakistan needs 47 from 57 balls. So as Mali said, they're ahead of the game. And so it'll be important for the West Indies to come up with some sort of spark.
Need wickets.
Need that balls.
Yeah, for sure.
Along with wickets.
I don't think they'll restrict them. They have to bowl them.
Look like we have one here.
Oh, he missed.
And Grimman and Boyce missed it for a while. Boyce took her eyes off the ball, was so anxious to get that wicket, and that would have been Alvi. Magnificent piece of groundwork there by Grimman. Throw was good, and the skipper just lapsed for a moment. You're human, and all of us are. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, apart from the little mishap down here at long on by Grimman, she's been quite good in the field. Actually, she's been quite good all around today. She's come in, looked to hit the ball, and when she's bowled, she's been quite economical.
54 for 2. Here is Alvi just looking to nudge this one around, but can't get a single. As Mali was talking about, they need wickets. They just had one. That would have been a very important wicket. Zafar is still there, and she's been the main rock of this innings here so far. So good day to Basil Morgan in Montserrat. Good morning, Mr. Morgan. Dino Baker, Jason Peters, all those guys in Montserrat. Jeff Lane punched down the ground, but can't beat Mangro, the live wire here.
Zone Sweeney, another
Zone,
one down there.
Beautiful player. 54 for 2. Davon Williams. We also got some action taking place.
Yeah, new batter in Imtiaz here. Just looking to do more of the same. Vern just looking to rotate the strike, get Zafar on strike, and just milk this West Indian bowling attack.
So we wait for a little while. I think thanks Sylvester, but I was just following from what happened on the scoreboard. So we click for a little while.
Yeah, it's Imtiaz in.
So Ghaznavi is going to move in nicely. Driving, lovely shot, good extension of the arm, lean into it. Got the what we would say the stride out, and on her heel, and just leaned into that. Zafar.
Yeah, very good shot there from Zafar. Good technique, head over the ball, and you could see by the way how she timed that delivery, the weight was going forward into the delivery, and yeah, it's only one run, but one good-looking run there by Zafar.
Imtiaz, we apologize for that because we were following back from the scorer. I think maybe we've got that rectified down to long on and get themselves sorted out.
And we were saying earlier as well, you're just seeing the differences in both teams here. Pakistan just a little bit more polished, even with that stroke there by Imtiaz, the way she just pushed it down to mid-on for one.
But I just want to tickle your brains here, Mali. Would you not, especially for Imtiaz, brought up the long on and the long off?
For sure, yeah. You're trying to put pressure on this Pakistan, especially with the new batsman coming in. You definitely try and plug a gap here and there and try and force a rash stroke.
Here is a big drive here. Grimman should be able to take that one out. No, she just misjudged it for a little while there and didn't recover in time. And is not gone for 4. They could still save it, but I think, no, I don't think it's gone. The umpire
No,
is
no.
signaling 4, but I don't think it went. He's now signaling a dead ball, but Grimman is down.
She's still down, yeah.
And maybe somebody from the Red Cross who is kind of a little bit closer. I don't know if they're paying attention, but Grimman is down. And somebody
Physio's coming.
the physio is coming from a good way around. He's sprinting to get down here, and I don't know if she maybe slipped in the return here. And the physio is sprinting for all his worth. Maybe he needs a golf cart.
Well, he's not on Cedar Valley at this point in time, Vern, but he got there pretty quickly. I think what we saw from that is that she misjudged it slightly, and in trying to get to take the catch and to take that catch, she had to dive, and she landed quite awkwardly, possibly on her right side. So the physio is having a look at her at this point in time.
She maybe took a little pounding on the side right there, so she's going to be checked out. In the meantime, there's an exchange taking place here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium with the 2 ambulances. So I think you've got one who maybe just looking to exchange right there. They maybe don't need them yet, because as you said, the West Indies phase are there. But you know, we're here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium, and you know the ground is big, so that's why I said he maybe needed a golf cart.
Yeah.
Because he was sprinting for all his worth to get around here. Just a little bit of some of the highlights. Let's look at the incident again in terms of what's happening.
Quite, well, to have another so-called injury here.
Looking at the replay here, and almost just cut a hand there.
Yeah.
Just didn't get it. Just needed a little luck to just get that right hand and get it stopped there. But it wasn't to be. The umpire is now coming down now to check to see what's happening. And in fact, the ambulance is.
Stretcher's coming.
The stretcher is coming out. In the meantime, Pakistan needs 41 from 50 balls. Got Janabi into a second over, 1 for 12.
Yeah, seems like a bit of an impact injury from Grimman there, and she was giving a fully wholehearted performance thus far. You know, she's been pretty good in the field, pretty good with the ball as well. So it'll be a bit of a shame that she possibly looks like she won't be able to complete this match.
Well, the attendees are having a conversation with the physio, and I think just for precautions, he's maybe giving them the clearance and says, well, you know, let's just take her off, and so we don't hold up the game any further. The umpire is just also looking to just make sure that everything is okay. As you said, we certainly don't want any injuries or anything of that nature. Hope that she's fine and she will be okay. So an emergency fielder will have to come on, Mali.
Yeah, and it also gives us time to just look back as well and compare and contrast both innings between this Windies women A team and the Pakistan A team. If you think back to overs 6 to 12 for the Windies batters, that was a period where the Pakistani bowlers really struggled and they really struggled to rotate the strike, and I think between over 6 to 12 the Windies only managed to score some 12 runs or so.
But the doctor is coming now, Mali.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a precaution procedure where maybe the doctor has to maybe diagnose maybe what is happening here, but all right, so they look like they're going to make the clearance and get themselves organized. So the doctor is also coming down here now in terms of this injury to Grimman.
Not sure how much she can diagnose, to be honest.
Well, let's wait and see what's happening. She's come out with something. She's now getting into her bag, and maybe she will just, as soon as maybe she goes to the ambulance, maybe she'll go there and diagnose and see in terms of what's going to be happening. So this little break, they're taking off her shoes, make sure that she's okay, keeping on her socks, and we hope that she'll be okay, Mali and Sylvester.
Yeah, yet another injury here for the Windies. Let's hope it's not too serious. Right.
Let's hope so.
But yeah, just to go back to that point in terms of the differences between how the Pakistani batters are going about it and in comparison to the Windies batters. Windies really struggled after the power play, 6 to 12. The Windies bowlers here to the Pakistani batters are doing a pretty similar job, but the difference is the Pakistani batsmen are rotating the strike, and when they're not picking up boundaries, they're also getting ones and twos, and that's keeping the scoreboard ticking over, and that's the major difference thus far in both innings, and it's setting up Pakistan well to chase down this total of 100.
Well, you know, it is going to be also critical going forward, Mali, for a number of these young women cricketers in terms of the scientific approach, in terms of nutrition, in terms of fitness.
Yeah, we did say that. We did say that.
You know, it's going to be a new education process because you need to have a professional set up as we speak right now.
Yeah, and you'd think, misfield there, man.
And we're back with the action right there, and straight away, taking the eyes off of the ball there is James.
Looks like Jafina.
Joseph.
Just misfielding that one.
And that's sliding away down. Gotta always keep your eyes on the ball. In the meantime, we looking over now into the area, and the player's gone into the ambulance. Looks like if the doctor is also going into the ambulance, maybe she will just control herself there and maybe just treat her for the meantime. Let's hope that she'll be okay. Imtiaz is 4, Zafar is 31. Over number 12 completed. Pakistan 61 for 2. We had a small break there because Grimman got injured, and we hope that she's okay.
And yeah, let's hope everything's okay. We did hear earlier that both Nation and Henry, who had their medical emergencies, are now stable and back with the team, so that's also great to hear. So let's hope Grimman isn't hurt too bad. Vern.
So good morning to Sanelda Willer. Thanks very much, Sanelda, for the greetings. Continue to work hard, along with Melissa Clark and Davana Claxton, getting themselves organized. The only problem, Sylvester and Mali, that St. Kitts and Nevis is on a lockdown.
Till December, I hear. Is that true?
No. And nobody would survive if they single here. by so far. You can imagine anybody locked down for December.
I know.
62 for 2. Zafar is 32. Imtiaz is 4. The first round of lockdown Mali will end maybe around about the 11th of July or so,
okay.
About a couple of days, and then they'll maybe make an assessment. So another single being sneaked away there by Imtiaz. And Imtiaz goes up to 5, and the score goes up to 63 for 2. Zafar is 32. Cases have been rising pretty fast. Got to be so careful with this COVID. We're not over by a long shot. We all have to work together still to be able to still fight this COVID. Here is Zafar driving down the ground, picking up an easy single. Kiana Joseph comes off the boundary. Lobs are returning to Mangro.
Zafar just playing her anchor role here really well, just getting off strike. She's on 33 of 37 deliveries and just doing what's necessary Mangro here at this point in time.
And the ball to Imtiaz. Imtiaz just hitting this ball in the air.
Quite sweetly though.
Yeah. A bit in the air, and if Mango didn't get to it, then it means that it was more or less safe. Because Mango throws her body around. You don't have to ask that. Pakistan needs 35 from 44 deliveries. Zafar is 33. She comes into strike and waits for Mango. As Mango comes in out the bowl to Zafar. Zafar driving in the air, and it didn't carry. Is that James?
Yeah.
James being the live wire, playing her first game. So we've seen a number of young players being drafted into the setup. Boys coming over and now just saying something to her, maybe just telling her to just take it easy.
Yeah, and it's important to highlight just how young a lot of these players are, and they're also playing their first games at this level. So patience is definitely required.
Say good morning to the folks. Here out comes Bernard Joseph with the big arms, and he's a big guy, so you can imagine his arms extended out in terms of what's happening. Wide signal here. Battle line delivery by Mangro. Not for 10. So Good day to the folks in Bermuda, Lloyd Smith and Carl Waldron, 67'2". West Indies need a spark. They need something to happen and happen fast, very quickly. In the meantime, Imtiaz and Zafar will want to shut the West Indies out and maybe give them a clean sweep in terms of what's been happening. Let's wait and see in terms of what's going to be happening. They need 33 from 42 balls. That is going to be very critical. 13 overs bowled so far.
Still got the 8 wickets in hand as well. And as we see Ram Harak looking to come back on. And seeing her bowl earlier this morning as well. I don't know if you noticed this or you guys agree with me, but she looks to have a pretty similar action to a Sunil Narayan. When you look at her delivery, especially his remodeled action. You guys can have a look later on. But we saw Needa Dar as well for Pakistan, the women's senior team, have a similar action to Saeed Ajmal. So you can see that these girls, these women are really looking to the male players and taking their cues from a lot of male players around the world.
And in terms of picking up from their idols.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of them would be, fancying whether it be a DJ Bravo or Saeed Ajmal or Brett Lee or whoever.
Just fans of the game,
Yeah, certainly. There is another nice flighted delivery right there by Ramarak. She comes back for her third over. She did look impressive in her first two.
Yeah, also hails from the island of Trinidad and Tobago as well, Ram Harak. So yet another spinner in this West Indian setup.
Here is the class of Zafar just using the pace and steering this down to third man and picking up an easy single. So Ram Harak, it's going to be pretty interesting. Cricket West Indies are due to have a 50 over competition in Guyana. I've got my little reservations in that, Mali and Sylvester. Because
why? About where they're hosting it?
In terms of the preparation period, because, in getting into the mood to be able to get there. I think it's supposed to be in September. But I think that is going to be a very keenly contested tournament because the winner of that tournament goes to the Commonwealth Games. So that's one of the things which have been on offer.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot.
Lovely shot by Imtiaz back and punching that out to cover. And they'll be able to get a couple of runs. And just to let the folks know, we know that the video has been circulating around, and Mali and Sylvester, I know you guys spoke about it. We just need to know that the two young ladies, the young lady that fainted, everything is well. They are back on the ground. Emotionally, it would have,
affected
shook up the entire team there. But, you heard the Pakistan team even complimenting the West Indies team for even completing the game. So, that in itself is going to be closely looked at. The players are being monitored as we speak. 70 for 2 in the meantime here. And we wish them a speedy recovery. Hope we see them in the 50 over series because they're going to be two very important players.
Oh yeah, let's hope they can come back fully healthy and contribute to this West Indian team, for sure.
In terms of the batting nation, I think it will certainly be needed. She was just looking to get into some form.
Clean hitter of the ball, isn't she?
Very clean hitter. Here is Imtiaz.
It should be quite a lot of women's cricket going forward for the rest of the year, and if West Indies can get things in order. It seems to be that South Africa are also looking to tour later in the year. Hopefully, if things go our way in terms of the COVID pandemic as well.
But the thing about life, as Zafar just quietly sneaks away, Mali, and gets another single. She goes up to 36. And the score at the end of over number 14, 72 for 2. Imtiaz is 9. Pakistan need 28 from 36 balls. You're only going to learn, Mali, if you have matches. You could practice all you want in the nets. Anybody can come and score 100. Sylvester could come back tomorrow and make 175 and everybody says he's good enough to play for the West Indies team. It's when you get into a real match situation where West Indies is playing against Pigots or playing against, South Africa, that's the difference. And that's where the mental attitude comes in. So the more games that the West Indies women cricket team get an opportunity to play, I think the better they will get. Sylvester was talking about the point that you could see the experience of the Pakistan team, but Pakistan themselves have a number of challenges with their women's program also. So this series is also a learning process for them, to evaluate where they are.
Oh yeah, for sure. Both administrations can benefit from this series. Also, with the Windy Cricket, West Indies hoping to host regionals in October with the T20 Commonwealth qualifiers first, then a women's Super 50. He's got a lot of cricket for these women to play. So hopefully the talent pool even expands even further.
Kiana Joseph comes into the attack. First two deliveries have been a dot ball. Zafar 36, Imtiaz 9. One of the things, Mali, which I think we'll be able to give some support if Cricket West Indies can be able to get some funding, and then you could be able to have a bigger expansion of the pool here. You have 29 ladies training here, so at the end of that tournament, if you had another set of folks come in and bring them up to a level of fitness in terms of what we were talking about, awareness of your nutrition, what you eat, what is going to be required. Zafar has certainly looked a class player, because all this is going to take money, whether you like it or not.
For sure.
Right? And if you're looking to build a process going forward, what you want, Mali, is that if you have 29 here, if you bring in another 30, that 30 has to be able to come up to the level of what this 29 has been able to achieve so far in terms of understanding of the game and all of the stuff that are taking place.
Good shot there. Post
Imtiaz
shot by
just
Imtiaz.
pulling this one down to the deep backward Skerlik fielder, and in the end getting another single. So Pakistan just quietly just rolling around here.
And to be honest though, Springs are all that's well and good organising these tournaments for senior players and A teams and whatever, but true sustainability will come when Cricket West Indies can host youth age group tournaments for the females.
Well, had it not been for the COVID, Mali, we didn't have their first under-19 tournament.
Yep. I know they've got plans to do that as well.
But we have to give credit at the end of over number 15, 75 for 2, because the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board, through Anne Brown, they have been holding an under-19 tournament in Trinidad and Tobago for the last 6 years, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So you have like teams like St. Lucia. That's a tournament that Shanisha Brittany would have played for St. Lucia in. So the expansion is there. Had we not had COVID, the Leeward Islands would have had their first under-19 team going to that competition.
Yeah.
So it's a going process, but it's much greater than that, Mali. We have to start in the schools and start a lot more earlier.
Exactly, and also just an example, Cricket West Indies can't be responsible for everything. Antigua is going to have to care about Antigua's female cricket and the like. St. Kitts, Barbados, Trinidad. These respective boards are going to have to develop their own players also from the youth coming through. Because if you think about the men's, Antiguan Cricket Association, for example, wasn't necessarily concerned about, I have to produce players for the West Indies. You just have to produce players to represent Antigua and then take it from there. So a lot of these respective boards are going to have to shoulder a lot of the responsibility as well.
Over number 16 start, Zafar is 39, Imtiaz is in strike. And here's Imtiaz having a go at this one here, out to the deep backward Skerlik fielder. More or less into the mid-wicket area. She's got a lot of work to do coming around there. Got Nabi, a lovely little spell right here. 1 for 16. And we're just having a little discussion in terms of how best we could be able to improve West Indies cricket. 77 for 2. Everyone has to look to make their contribution. Kiana Joseph coming around there, like a paddle off there. I think it might be a leg by signal here by the umpire. Because Nabi was just a little bit offline. And if we see us, Mali, if we see us about the development, we use the word development loosely. But I don't think we have committed people who are thinking outside of the box to understand what is almost required. We see a Mali Richards, but we don't understand what it's like to bring a Mali Richards from primary school up to the next level. It takes 15 years, Mali, to produce almost a player.
And I think that's what we've actually struggled with. We've had examples in the past, but I think we've struggled to actually understand just why we were successful as the West Indies cricket team were in the time that they were. And we're struggling to replicate that because we didn't necessarily understand those processes and what it actually took for those players and that team to be what they actually turned out to be.
So, a little chip there from Imtiaz down to long on. Fielder misfielded for a little while, didn't do a good job in all, took her eyes off of the ball and gave Imtiaz a chance to come back quite easily for a second run, which maybe should have been one. Zafar is 39, Imtiaz is 13. She's in strike, 80 for 2, wins over number 16. Now, the rest of the world, Mali, looked at the West Indies for a number of years. I remember the late Tim Hector. I'll come back with that conversation in a little while. Ghaznabi, he comes in now to bowl to Imtiaz. Imtiaz is looking to go past backward point. Remember a couple of years at the lecture, the late Tim Hector was talking about the South African team. 16 overs bowled, 80 for 2. Ghaznabi at the end of 3, 1 for 18. And what he was saying is that El Camino Willett, when he made his debut and was playing for the West Indies, they already had tapes at a university in South Africa of El Camino Willett's bowling. That's something that, in terms of our data and our research and looking at our players, that we were left behind in world cricket. So while we were dominating, everybody else was recording us, looking at us, and emulating our players. But we weren't keeping that information close to us, and so we almost like playing catch up. So we were good, but we don't have the data of our players.
And I remember as well, just to highlight that point as well, the Antigua senior team touring in England in 2005 and coming up against a Bangladesh A team, and the coaching staff from that Bangladesh A team were so keen to find out about our fast bowlers. At that time we had a Tariq Prince, Kerry Jeremy, just really good fast bowlers, and they were so keen to find out what those players ate, how they worked out. They were taking everything on board, and to see them 10-15 years later come full circle and start producing their own players of that ilk, it just shows you just how much the West Indies was a blueprint for that.
First stroking down to long off, and picking up an easy single, picking up a 48 run, and the score goes up to 81 for 2. Mangro is into a third over, not for 11. Now brings Imtiaz into strike on 13. Want to touch a little bit another point with Mali. Imtiaz just saying to Mango, just hold for a little while. Another thing which sort of kind of crippled us to Mali is that once the England and Wales Cricket Board had shut out the West Indian players from going to England, there was no avenue for our players, and we really did not rebound nicely enough to be able to deal with that process in terms of what took place. Could elaborate a little bit more on that point as Imtiaz just stroked that down to long on and picking up an easy single off Mangro.
And that's where your own perspective, your own cricket board should come in. So in essence, what we were actually saying was that the English cricket board were developing West Indian players.
Well, to them, they would feel that way because remember they weren't winning anything. In fairness to them, Mali.
That's what I'm saying.
And the mindset was that hey, let's keep the West Indians out.
Right.
At one point in time, we had like close to 30-40 people going to England to play.
Right. I wouldn't say it was necessarily let's keep the West Indians out. They just started looking to develop their own players because in essence they were developing players that couldn't play for them in the international arena, and would go away and actually cause them more grief in the international arena. So I think that's when now it became incumbent upon our board to develop our players in the way that they should.
84 for 2. Zafar is 41. She's in strike, and we'll wait for a Mangro delivery. Back and just tugging this one more or less down to long on again. And picking up another single, 42nd run.
If you think about it as well, sorry not to cut you off, if you think about it, and the shoe was on the other foot, how long would we be catering to English players who couldn't play for us, but would be playing in our domestic competitions? We'd be developing English players to come back and actually put in good performances against us.
Well, I'll come back to that in a little while, Mali. It's amazing that you made that point, Mali, as over number 17 comes to an end. Pakistan women, the target is 100. They're 86 for 2. Zafar is 42. Imtiaz is 16 from 20. Pakistan needs 14 more runs off 18 deliveries. Now, when you look around Mali, as compared to, as we would say, the door was closed on the West Indian players. If we look at county cricket today, it's almost like on his deathbed.
I don't know. I think it's that's debatable. You look at even.
And the reason why I say that is that a number of the contracted players don't get an opportunity to go back now to play for their counties.
Oh, that's what you mean in terms of the England players. Yeah.
Right. And
they don't play that much county
cricket, and that is something which the county game itself is. That's why
it's struggling.
That area.
Definitely in the 4-day game, they're struggling from that perspective.
Kiana Joseph comes back from the circle and in the meantime, very quickly, Imtiaz is hustling a single out there. Mangro is upset with herself that she didn't pick up because he would have had some fireworks to one of those stumps.
But what I will tell you though is that we've seen Jafra Archer, we've seen Chris Jordan, and there are quite a few more players of Caribbean descent and coming from a Caribbean background just waiting in the wings. England have recognized a stream of talent that they can use in order for to boost their international team, and that's coming from players coming from Barbados and around that region with almost a diplomatic relationship with the country with the UK. So they're highlighting that talent stream at this point in time. There's quite a few amongst those counties as well, Vern, coming soon and fast.
So Zafar picking up another run right there. Tried to sweep a little ball. They got a little under edge. Went over Boyce's head, the wicketkeeper for the West Indies, and down to the third man area. They sneaked a single for a moment. I don't know if she lost consciousness in terms of what was happening in Zafar, but she got herself closer to the crease. Imtiaz is just back and just steering this onto the offside, picking up another easy single, coming around very quickly. It was Mangro who took her eyes off the ball there and missed it. A rarity to see that happen. In the meantime, Imtiaz would have sneaked a single quite easily, and the score goes up to 89 for 2. Imtiaz 18, Zafar 43 comes into strike. She's got enough runs. Can she get a little half century and end the tour on a high note? She's going for that one badly offline delivery there by Kiana Joseph, and she came right across her wicket and just paddled that one over the short fine leg and down to the boundary for 4. Zafar goes to 47 or 54. Kiana Joseph not for 17. West Indies need, not West Indies, but Pakistan needs 7 from 13 deliveries. 93 for 2, Zafar 47, Imtiaz is 18.
Yeah, and Zafar's played a brilliant innings here. She's just kept knocking the ball around. When she's gotten a bad ball, she's put it away. And she's almost showing Renice Boyce exactly how she could have gone about her innings as well.
Here is Zafar back and punching that. Beating the short third man on the backward point boundary, down to the boundary for 450 to Zafar. That's a lovely knock by the Pakistan player. That's a beautiful 3 boundaries so far, 1-6 Zafar. That's a lovely, well played, man. 55 deliveries, 51 to Zafar, and she's certainly making a claim to get into the West Indies, not West Indies, but Pakistan team, especially for the 50 overs series. They need 3 runs in 12 balls.
Yeah, she's played really, really well today, Vern. She hasn't really been put under pressure. It's been pretty serene for her in terms of the way she's gone about it. She's rotated the strike, like we said, and she's put away the bad balls, and she's got the highest score of the series thus far from either player on both teams. So yeah, congratulations to her, and she'll be looking to be there at the end for a nice little red inker to boost that average.
Aisha Zafar, beautiful knock by the Pakistani player. Pakistan at 97 for 2, 18 overs bowled, and Amarak is now switched now to the Sir Andy Roberts end. And let's see what the approach will be by Imtiaz. Imtiaz maybe needs to go to the beach pretty early today.
Why? She need a soak.
She just needs a soak. Vincent Deming always used to say, the groundsman at Warner Park, is that, hey, the beach is waiting. So you want to be able to get an early beach, but
she has quite a few choices here in Antigua.
Certainly. Here is Imtiaz looking to undrive, but she can't beat the live wire of Mangro, who is in that the short mid-wicket area. West Indies still playing with some little purpose of energy. Imtiaz is 18. They need 3 runs. She's just clipping this one into the leg side area. They need 1, and they're going to... No, she's been sent back by Zafar. was not taking any chances, and she was quick to get back into the crease. Ramarak in her fourth over, in only her first game, not for 10. So that's a good prospect.
Yeah, she's bowled with good control today, hasn't she, Vern?
Break for a little while. 98 for 2, Safa is 51. She comes in to strike. Pakistan needs 2 runs. Could it be over in this over? We'll find out. Safa's back and punching it, but can't score. Lost her shape there, and she was just rehearsing herself and saying I should have just got a little tighter, get a little deeper and just punch that again there. But she's still there. She's 51 not out, and she'd want to end the series as not out. She could be also maybe the player of the series so far. Here is Zafa having a go at this one. I think it might be the victory for Pakistan right now. It's gone past the short middle wicket fielder, and they come back quite easily. I think it should be game over based on this delivery. The umpires are moving in. So Pakistan winning by 8 wickets. 100 up for Pakistan in 74 minutes. And the West Indies have bowled these overs very, very, very quickly. Game over.
Rapid.
And a clean sweep of the Pakistan A team over the West Indies A team. But trust me, this young West Indies team have played with some vigor. They played with some, Courtney Walsh was able to see some new talent put out onto the field. And we can only just hope for the best for this team. We'll give you a little recap. Zafar knocked out 53 in the end of 56 deliveries. Imtiaz knocked out 19. Ramara finishing with knocked for 12 from her spell. And some good talent on show, Mali.
Yeah, from both teams. We see that this Pakistani team just slightly ahead of this Windies Women A team in terms of their development. But quite a good series, quite good cricket on show. But Windies won't be too disheartened. You've seen quite a few good individual performances, but just not enough to get up and get a win over this Pakistan team.
So in the end, the West Indies A team going down. We look at the Pakistan team. Right, was bowled by Grimmon for 6. Zafar not out 53. Sohail was caught man with bowled Gajnabi for 16. And then we had Imtiaz was not out 19 from 24. Extra 6, a lot better, much better improvement today in terms of the West Indies.
From that perspective, yes.
There. 100 for 2, Pakistan reaching there. We'll get the bowling figures for you in a while. We hope that Grimmon is okay. We'll find out in a little while in terms of what's happening. Bowling figures, Glasgow 2 overs, no maidens, 11 runs, no wickets. Ramarak 3.4 overs, 12 runs, no wickets. Could look a spell. Grimmon in her first game, 3 overs, 21 runs, 1 wicket. Brianna Jose 4 overs, 21 runs, no wicket. Gajnabi 3 overs, 18 runs, 1 wicket. And Mango, the live wire, 3 overs. She's bowled well so far, 16 runs. She's been a talent for the West Indies, no wickets. 100 for 2, extra 6, 18.4 overs. The West Indies going down to Pakistan A in their first real major series here in the A team tour. 3-0, but something I think that the coaches can be able to work with. They can go back to the drawing board. And it's also a motivation process now for all of the other young ladies.
That's for sure.
Around the Caribbean will be able to motivate. But just before we go, Mali, I wanted to kind of highlight the role of, let's say, we're looking at people like a Shamar Brooks, a Craig Brathwaite, a Kyron Powell, a Raheem Cornwall, Jamal Hamilton. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Antigua and Barbuda government, along with the Anguilla government and Dominica, well, originally, and Barbados, who joined in the end, the Ministry of Sports Division, started a 13 and under cricket competition. And during that competition, you ended up having a number of test players during that period of time who went on to play for whether they respective under 15, under 17, under 19 team, and then coming out to the test arena. I think this is what is going to have to happen with the women's program going forward, and not only the women's program, but even the next Calabar, the next Cornwall, the next Bonner, whoever, is that somebody has to give support to Cricket West Indies, because Cricket West Indies can't do this alone.
No, for
so
sure.
we're going to have to go back to the drawing board. I also feel that CPL has a contribution also to make, and especially to the development of regional cricket, and especially at the local level, to support that program going forward, so that at least we can begin to produce the next Pollard and the next Bravo over that next 15-year cycle, over that next 10-year cycle.
And we know
has to start at that era.
Exactly. We know about the Scotiabank kiddie cricket programs that they've had over the years as well. So, I mean, there's already been a precedent set. You just need to apply it to the little girls and really drum up that interest and get these girls out here. And because for true sustainability for this Windies women cricket program, you're gonna have to have regular youth tournaments at all ages.
Certainly. So we just want to be able to just say thanks so far to both the Cricket West Indies and Pakistan Cricket Board for initiating this series. You know, the next big tour coming up hopefully will be South Africa, and so that will give plus we also got a competition coming up in Guyana that is also going to be maximum, and there's a lot to play for in that Cricket West Indies tournament, because the winner of that Super 50 T20 tournament will get an opportunity to represent the region, the Commonwealth Games. So there's more motivation taking place.
And I remember just quickly in '98, Antigua, Barbados, representing the Caribbean in the men's version at the Commonwealth Games. And putting in good performances. So yeah, great opportunity for the girls to go out and represent and continue their cricketing journey.
So on this Sunday morning, we just want to give credit to the entire backroom staff so far, who has done an excellent job to be able to pull through with this coverage. ABS, Ashnit and his team, Richard Berridge also and his team, everybody who's worked so far, Sylvester Bones and Joseph Malley Richards. We'll be able to get a little lunch break. I think I'm going to go and have a water break with Mali on my birthday and bounce in, get myself organized. And then we'll be back at least about 10 minutes to 2 to start the all-important game between the West Indies senior team, women, and the Pakistan senior team. West Indies have already won the series. They're first since 2019, but they'll be looking to clean sweep that series. We'll be bringing it back to you live and in living color from the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. In the meantime, the Drums are getting themselves organized, and we'll have an update for you on Lady Grimman in terms of how she's doing and the two other young ladies who have been injured. This is Vernon Springer on behalf of Cricket West Indies and our commentary team saying we're taking a little luncheon break right here. We'll be back with you 10 minutes to 2. Nice work, buddy.
Yeah.